We're gonna do next week. We're gonna have to do like Thursday night.
Oh yeah.
Takeover.
Yeah. Is that on Wednesday? I guess so.
Takeover's always on a Wednesday unless it's one of the pay-per-view tied ones.
Right. God damn it. Post links to Facebook. Fachabu. Fachabu. The fuck is a bullet journal? I have like 3 different people all of a sudden posting about fucking bullet journals, and I have no idea what the fuck that is.
Sounds like a name for a podcast network.
I don't remember what.
You know how they call heads like in radio? They call the headphones the cans.
Yeah.
How about the huge cans network? I got a logo in mind already.
Of course you do.
I feel bad for Matt Hardy. I just watched that shit and
It's so terrible.
I just want to cry for him. Like, this is not to mention this is like his 3rd fucking gimmick change in a year. Like,
oops. Oh.
Brother Nero. So fucking
Vinny Marcellia?
Between that and the fucking Willow gimmick, it's like everybody at TNA is just afraid to tell the Hardys. That's a fucking dumb idea. The Willow thing was way worse, though. I'm sorry. That went on like months.
Yeah, I'm sure it was. It was TNA, so it's fucking terrible.
Yeah. TNA's got some decent shit these days. It's much better than it used to be.
Well, that's good, I suppose.
I love their tag teams. Oh, it's Troy.
Oh my God!
We was just about to start without shoes, and then all of a sudden you appeared.
By God! It's Troy! It's Troy! By God, it's Troy!
Well, there's no need to yell.
Well, there never is.
Can you hear us? Tommy, can you hear me?
By the way, thank you for getting Nakamura's theme song stuck in my head.
Can you feel me near you? I don't think Troy can hear us. If you can hear us, look dumb. Oh, maybe he can. Okay. Rude.
Why you gotta be so rude?
Why you gotta be so rude? Marry that squirrel. Marry her anyway.
Yet another song my son ruined for me.
By playing over and over and over again?
I find a song I like and he just plays it incessantly in the car until I can't. Uptown Funk was the same thing. I found that song. No one else in my family had heard that song. I brought it home one night and then that was the end of it. A week later I was done with it. Sick of it. Fuck it. That's why now I just listen to stuff with swears in it because he can't listen to it.
I don't actually know what that song is.
Oh, I heard that part. Okay, so your microphone's working. Is your earphones working there, boy?
Yep.
There we go. There's that Troy's here.
I hope that's a Pabst Blue Ribbon in honor of John Cena's merchandise.
John Cena's canceled merchandise that some people still somehow received in the mail anyway.
Yes. Well, once they ordered it.
Actually, they had it over at, apparently they had it at the local Kmart's too.
Oh, really? Nice. I should check the one down the street. It's probably a collector's item.
We don't got a Kmart around here no more.
Well, there's one on the way to Newbury. Stop in for the next show.
Oh, yeah.
For some reason, it's not allowing me to turn down Adam's audio, so you're blowing my brains out right now.
Oh, I'll blow your brains out.
All right. I'm going to have to try to come back to that.
I don't know what the fuck that was, but it's all fucking loud over there.
I'm going to take a wild guess that we're not on the air.
We are, but we're just not recording it.
Not recording it. Then I made it in perfect timing.
We were just about to start and you showed up, so get your shit together.
I'm getting my shit together. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah.
Still working on the new setup.
How's your house?
Good.
I like your window.
Yeah, well, I gotta work on that.
Did that come with the house, or did you bring it? With the...
I think I want to sit. All right. I'm just gonna move this over here.
Nice shirt. That's a nice shirt you got there.
Yeah.
And your Shadow Vein podcast in there with your shadow veins. The shadows in the veins.
The veiny shadows.
I got a candle going. It's very romantic.
We're gonna go old school with the microphone in front of the face.
Hell yeah. Just like the good old days when you was on the show all the time. Before you abandoned me like everybody else does.
That's right, sir.
Womp womp. Oh, your time will come, Jason.
Yeah.
Well, if you
Just
record
wait.
Wednesday next week, I'm out. So.
Yeah, I didn't even think of that. We'll have to do a Thursday next week. But that's SmackDown.
It's not live yet. We're okay.
We're gonna have to move
Alright.
we're gonna have to move to Thursdays in July once the SmackDown goes live, anyways, because I can't watch SmackDown live on Tuesdays because I do trivia on Tuesdays. There is a cucumber on. That is not. Get that out of here.
Oh, I thought that was an alien dick.
That was not a cucumber. I thought it was.
Oh, so it was an alien dick.
Yeah, apparently. What's the matter with you?
You're not on the air yet.
We are too.
Oh, well. Really?
Yeah, so that's happening.
Hey, we're on air. Let's not go into a Adam Rose situation here. Okay?
I just threw it into the kitchen. It's fine.
Why can I?
Go away.
Let me change you. Nobody. Oh, there we go. Ah. Now
If
you
you
sound
get-
like a normal person.
If you can't get your lower third to work, you may need to switch to Firefox or Microsoft Internet Explorer if it's 1995.
It doesn't appear to be working, and I don't care that much about it. So
Okay. Well, then you're fine.
I'm going to get. I've got blinds coming in the mail, so don't worry about that back there. I don't have any blinds on my windows, and
It just makes you look godlike, Troy.
I don't actually have a door. So
Don't those usually come with the house?
this one would have if it wasn't for the fact that this was always used as an office by the
Uh,
people that lived here before us too, and they just didn't feel the need to have a door on it. So
You got to put up a door. You got to get some soundproofing. Get them little foam triangles, what you stick on the walls, and it'll be great.
Wait, who has an office without a door on it? What do you do when you want to masturbate?
well, they had kids living here, so I'm assuming.
Hey, I got
I'm
kids.
sorry,
The kids helped. I don't know what you're going
kids-
for there.
Yeah.
Creepy Uncle
Well, I
Troy
was
is
going-
back. Creepy Uncle Troy is back, everybody.
That's right. Never left, sir. I never left. Yeah, I don't. My lower third's not working, but I don't give a fuck. Eventually, it'll work on Chrome.
It is 7-7 in the bottom of the third. That is fucking ridiculous.
Well, it's working on Chrome for Adam, just not for
Yeah, not for anybody else.
Not for anybody else.
until his fucking
But-
laptop shuts down in the middle of the show.
Yeah, I dropped something on the keyboard and it just restarts. By the end of that baseball game, it's going to be like 21 to 23.
By the end of the fifth inning, what are you talking about?
Jesus Christ.
I predict we're going to see Clay Buchholz tonight.
Okay.
I'm ready to go.
Okay. Then let's begin. This is 248 and 3. Okay. Crash noises. 3,
It's okay.
2, 1, record. This week's episode of The Rundown is brought to you by WWE 2K17. Pre-order to play as Goldberg and relive the streak by having such iconic matches as Goldberg versus Heath Slater, Goldberg versus Bo Dallas, Goldberg versus Tyler Breeze, And Goldberg versus a generic character who fights like Hulk Hogan, but is absolutely not Hulk Hogan. WWE 2K17. Who's next?
Are you drunk during that whole intro?
Who knows?
If they recreate the Brock Lesnar match, do they pipe in the horrible booze through the whole thing?
In the 30 years of WrestleMania mode that was a couple games ago, you had to play that match, and I said that match would only be redeemable if at the end you got to switch to Austin and stun both of them, and you do, and it's great.
Nice.
WWE sent out a survey this week of possible Royal Rumble locations, and one of the locations on the list was Boston, Massachusetts. The rundown takeover of the Royal Rumble again, if that comes true, you guys? You guys gonna come for the Boston Royal Rumble? Got you.
Was that English?
I
Aiden.
remembered it.
Aiden English?
Aiden English.
Simon Gotch?
I was going to pre-order WWE 2K17. It would have been the first WWE game that I have pre-ordered or played in the past 4 years. But then I realized that the PlayStation 3 version was the exact same price as a PlayStation 4 version, and I emptied my cart.
Yeah, you don't want to get the old generation because they don't care about that. So you'll pay full price for half a game. I learned that lesson the hard way with 2K14 or 2K15, whichever one it was. I had John Cena on the cover.
I just wait like a month and then buy it out of the bargain bin at GameStop.
Is there any possible way that this cover doesn't have Goldberg on it and has Roman Reigns? Because I think it's a pretty good possibility.
Well, given 2 years ago we had John Cena, and then last year I like how we're completely ignoring the question that I asked. By the way, 2 years ago we had John Cena, then last year we had Steve Austin.
Like this, and nobody fucking understood what the fucking question was because we couldn't fucking understand what the fucking question was.
So this year, maybe this year they'll go back to actually having more than one person on the cover of the goddamn game, and we can have Roman Reigns versus Goldberg.
It'll be Roman Reigns versus Roman Reigns. It'll just be two Roman Reigns looking at each other, and one guy will be like, "I'm the guy," and the other guy will be like, "I'm the guy."
It'll be Shield Roman Reigns versus the guy Roman Reigns, and nobody will be able to tell them apart.
It'll be Shield Roman Reigns versus the guy Roman Reigns with special guest Leaky as the special guest.
Leaky is the special referee.
From the worst names ever department. Yes.
Yeah. And that match will have a special run-in by Roman Reigns' long-lost cousin, Luther Reigns.
Or it'll have a special run-in by Seth Rollins. Or maybe it won't. Or maybe it will. Or maybe it won't.
Or maybe it won't. We're pump the brakes on that. We're going to get to that.
Haven't even played the theme song yet.
We haven't done the theme song. We haven't even said who the fuck we are.
Adam hasn't even repeated that fucking question that he didn't say audibly.
Nobody fucking cares.
Nobody cares anymore.
That was
Download this episode on iTunes and Stitcher, and maybe you'll be able to decipher what the fuck it is.
I am dying to know if Troy is going to go to the Royal Rumble in Boston. Come on.
See, you did hear me. Fuck you.
First of all, why? As much as I love Royal Rumble, why? If I didn't go to the one that was in my backyard on Monday, why would I go to one outside of the state?
Because that's where we are.
Because you could snuggle with Adam.
Snuggling with Adam is
right. I'm big and cuddly.
You know what else? You know what else is big and cuddly? Theme song.
Yeah, I already said theme song like a minute ago. Y'all fucks just kept fucking talking.
I didn't hear it, so.
More competent than Jimmy Snuka. It's episode 248, although I'm starting to doubt that, of The Rundown. My name is Adam. I'm your host. It is Wednesday, June the 1st, 2016. Joining me this week, Jason is here.
I will say I think we collectively have killed fewer hookers than Jimmy Snuka, but
that's
true
true
for everybody.
That's true. No, Cyril. When they're dead, they're just hookers. And Troy is here.
Word. I'm back. At least for now.
From
I was going to record
from a
from my secret bunker. I was going to record my new podcast, the Geek and Gamer Guild podcast tonight, but I decided, fuck that, I'll do it tomorrow. And I'm here.
Hooray. Speaking of fun things to do instead of this, wait, no, that doesn't make sense. A polar cruise. If you're interested in what that might mean, go watch last week's YouTube video where we read the Google Voice transcripts of the voicemails that we receive. If you watch this week's Google Voice YouTube video, we'll do the same thing. So, anyway, we do have voicemails.
Somebody is doing dishes right now.
Somebody is doing dishes. Yes, that's very true. The joys of... I don't have a door on my room either, so...
Hey, there you go. You have windows, and so do I.
Ah.
And I can see.
You're apparently on the sun, though.
Yep, I'm working on it.
Yep.
I'll get a better setup next time.
I saw the time wherever Troy is.
I came walking downstairs, looked at the couch, saw my daughter was knocked out, and I thought, I'll do the podcast.
Huh, the drugs worked.
They did. Better than I thought they would.
Honey, you want some Jack Daniels, honey? Just a little on the gums. Just a little on the gums.
Please.
No, really, just take a look at the gorilla cage. Really, just go ahead.
Fireball whiskey.
Fireball. Ha! Get your kids drunk, folks. That's what we're saying.
Theme song.
Oh, it's gonna be one of those kind of weeks, isn't it? I like when Troy is here. It's fun.
Ooh, burn.
Yeah, fuck you, Adam. All right,
All right. Let's listen to a voicemail, shall we? It might seem like a thinly veiled threat, but it's not really.
Is it regarding the Matt Hardy
I will be the
promo?
first to admit.
Is it regarding what? Get that banana out of my face.
Like it's the first time you've said that.
What did you say before I started playing the voicemail?
I said, is the voicemail related to the Matt Hardy promo?
I don't think so.
Oh, we can get to that too.
Oh, we'll absolutely get to that.
It's on my list.
Yeah, Jason actually prepared for the show this week.
I did some show prep.
There you go.
And some
My lower
other-
third isn't working, so I just
A plus.
Nothing like
I will
a
be
good
the
psyche.
first
I got a
to admit.
podcast.
God damn it! I'll pause it again. What?
This is why this is gonna be another one of those ones where people are like, you know what? I probably should check out that YouTube video that they made.
Yeah, right.
'Cause there's apparently a lot of visual gigs in this one. Adam's got a dick on his head.
It's
Things
not,
are
you've got a handwritten lower third. I've got a banana on my head.
Adam's
right.
had a yellow dick and a green dick on his head, and we're 5 minutes into the show.
I'm gonna eat this dick in a minute.
Again, not the first time.
Do it slowly. Make eye contact. That is the only appropriate way to eat a banana.
Can I play the voicemail now? Okay.
Oh, I thought you already did.
That back in the beginning of January, when rumors had flooded the internet that the WWE had raided New Japan's locker room and stolen Shinsuke Nakamura, Carl Anderson, Luke Gallows, and AJ Styles, that I couldn't wait for them to get to the WWE because I knew they were going to do big things. Now, to Shinsuke Nakamura's credit, he has done big things in NXT, and I look forward to his match with Austin Aries at TakeOver. AJ's impact in the Royal Rumble was significant, but his feuds with Jericho and Roman were lackluster, especially Jericho at WrestleMania. That should have been AJ's crowning moment, and it really fell flat, mostly because we had seen the match 4 times already. I'll give AJ this. He had a lot of good matches, because that's what AJ does against Roman Reigns. And I thought they put on especially a good match at Extreme Rules. But I wanted something more from AJ Styles. And what happened last night was perfect. With AJ simulating that he was about to go toe-to-toe with the Bullet Club,
Not what that word means.
and for him to turn around and punch John Cena in the face and then have all 3 of them attack John Cena was fucking brilliant. Especially to have AJ continue to run back in the ring to continue to beat on Cena. Now, I'm not forgetting history. I know what creative has done when Cena has been infused with the Wyatts and the Nexus, and even as recent as Rusev 1 year ago, it took a year for Rusev to get back after his feud with Cena to where he prominently should be. However, I am optimistic because last night's heel turn by AJ Styles was phenomenal. As far as the rest of Raw goes, they should never ever have anything hashtag hatch trending again. And where is Bray Wyatt? I was sure he was going to appear at the main event, and he did not. I guess we'll have to keep waiting. Talk to you guys next week.
One. Can you name me 4 people, 4, that are in a good spot right now that have been in any feud in the past year? As much as I hate John Cena, and I do, and I'm starting to hate John Cena the person, I'm not making that distinction anymore because I've been starting to hear some things. Other than Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, and you could potentially put Kevin Owens in that, who else is in any good position right now? Who? Dean Ambrose? Fuck him. I ain't doing shit with him. Cesaro, Sami Zayn, these guys are not doing anything. They're doing the same exact thing that most likely AJ Styles is going to do after this feud is over and has been doing before that. WWE is putting all their eggs into 2 baskets, Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns. So for him to sit there and say, oh, look what happened to Rusev, it took him a year to get back. He's back. He's there. Yeah, it hurt him a little bit, but that's not on John Cena. That's on the creative people being like, I don't know what to do with this guy anymore because we fucked ourselves over by having him lose to John Cena. Look, John Cena's a dumb dick, but he's not as much of a career killer as he once was. Look at Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens is primed to be in the world title race right now, and he lost to John Cena. So we have, twice, and he is at a better spot than John Cena is going to be in the card at Money in the Bank.
Yeah, Cena's never been a career killer. It's the creative and how they handle post-Cena feuds.
Yeah. Yeah. Now there have been a few people. I mean, yes, everyone goes back to the Nexus. First of all, that shit was what 3-4 years ago at this point. Get over it. Second, yes, that was shitty, but it wouldn't. But look at how many other times they've had a chance with. What's his fucking name? Bad News Barrett. He's got 16 different names. All right, I'm sorry. You look at Barrett. They tried and tried and tried, and it didn't fucking work. So I can't put that on John Cena. I can put that on creative. I can put that on the fact that Vince McMahon doesn't think that anyone not born in the good old U.S. of A. is worth a damn and is a world title contender. But yeah, I can't put it on John Cena, and I can't sit there and think that AJ Styles is going to be done as soon as this feud with Cena goes over. I think that there's a good chance that he's going to come out of this feud looking better, and even if he doesn't, we've got the brand split coming, and they've got big plans for the guy because they gave him a good amount of money to come over here and play, and they're not going to just have him toil around in mid-card hell for the rest of his time here.
No, and he hasn't been in the mid. I mean, the guy's 4 months in. He's main evented 2 pay-per-views. So, right. I mean, you tell me how many other guys have done that at this point in their careers. I don't think there's any chance that... the thing I do concern myself a little bit with the AJ thing is in those 4 months, he's feuded with Jericho and lost a big match. Feuded with Reigns, lost a big match twice. And now he's going into Cena's feud where if he loses that big match, do you fall into that area you kind of are in now with Ambrose, where every time there's a big spot he loses, and you have a hard time taking him as a credible threat. That would be the one thing I would worry about.
Yeah, I'm not as worried anymore because now he's a heel.
Yeah.
And heels can lose matches and be okay. Look at Seth Rollins. The guy didn't have a very good win-loss record. I think if he was still face Styles and going against face Cena, yes, then you'd have the problem of it being like, oh, what do we do now? But we're pretty positive that Cena's winning this, most likely by taking out the Bullet Club. Sorry, the club. And
The Polo Club.
He's probably going to go the Polo Club. He's probably going to go over, but you know what he's not going to do? He's not going to be able to technically go over clean because it's going to be Styles with all this different help coming in here. And yeah, Cena's going to overcome because that's what he does, because he's the Marine. But now you've got it where Styles can turn around and go into another feud and it not hurt him because of the fact that, hey, he's the bad guy. Now he does whatever he wants. We can go into the logistics of his heel turn being very strange and not making a whole lot of fucking sense. While I liked it, I thought it was a good shock. It was also kind of like, well, wait, this dude didn't want to do any of this crap against Roman Reigns, but Cena is just like, fuck it, I'll beat the shit out of him. It's like, well, why weren't you doing that against Roman Reigns?
Well, he was sort of doing it against Roman Reigns at the end of the last feud. I mean, it took one Raw, but then the next Raw he was joining in the gang attack and hitting him with a chair, and then the pay-per-view he had no problem getting the help from the Bullet Club. So they kind of foreshadowed it a little bit in the last couple weeks. And this thing with Cena is probably, by my guess, going to be a two pay-per-view program. They're going to do Money in the Bank, and then whatever the July pay-per-view is, I forget what it is. And I imagine at some point in between there, Balor's going to show up, and we're going to get Balor and AJ at SummerSlam, hopefully.
Well, I mean that's fine if we're doing this, you know, for this pay-per-view and for what is it, Bad Blood, Armageddon, whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah.
You know, and then we have him go into something a little bit bigger at SummerSlam. That's great. Or even if it does happen to be, you know, the club against, you know, the Oozles and, you know, whoever else sort of like that, that's fine too. Once we get through SummerSlam, that's when we're really going to start hitting the ground running on this, where you could potentially have him be the WWE SmackDown champion, or whatever the fuck they're going to call that belt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And he can be the lead heel on that show, because there's a good chance for not splitting up Rollins and Reigns. Mm-hmm. So those are going to be your two big guys there. And you can assume that Kevin Owens is still going to be around there. But yeah, you could easily have it be Styles' show. Have be SmackDown as Styles' show. And, you know, you can maybe throw Dean Ambrose over there and have them go back and forth, and maybe we'll finally give a little bit of love to Dean Ambrose. Who knows? We had a chance on Monday for them to explain a little bit more about this brand split, and they proceeded to have a dance-off and not tell us anything.
Ridiculous. Don't have a fucking segment on your show about a thing that's upcoming if you have nothing to tell us about this thing that's upcoming.
You couldn't even give us the fucking date?
Yeah.
Well, and the laziest part of the whole thing was they didn't even have a reason. It was just like, well, we haven't really talked about that yet. Well, you know, you fucking might want to talk about it, you know.
It does happen to be coming up soon.
Yeah. Going back to AJ Styles for just a moment, I think I was a big fan of the segment. I really enjoyed the heel turn. It did, like you said, it was surprising. It did surprise me. I think it may have, not that it didn't work, that I didn't like it, but I think it may have worked a little better if it had been more than a week since AJ had denounced the club. Yeah. Because it was like, hey, we're together. You know what? I don't need you guys. I'm just kidding. Let's all beat the shit out of this guy.
Yeah, I would have maybe teamed him up on Raw next week, Cena and AJ against the club, and then done something like that.
Then we get Y2 AJ again, but AJ is the one that destroys the tag team partner.
Yeah, exactly. You know. Well, just something to tell the story more, you know.
Yeah. Well, the good thing, at least with this one, is that they didn't have the guys who were secretly in alliance with each other actually touch each other. Constantly we have it where, like, guys that do sudden turns beat the shit out of each other leading up to that turn. This time there was no physical contact between the club and AJ Styles, which was good, because it was just like, yeah, they're friends. They don't want to hit each other. They're going to fuck John Cena over, but we're just going to pretend, and that's why it actually makes a lot of sense leading up to it now, where it's like, yeah, you never had them attack Styles. You never had them really cost him anything. You just had it where it was like, hey, we're going to go our separate ways. Psych! and now we're beating the shit out of the fucking guy with Ellen DeGeneres on his legs. You know?
Those fucking pants, man. God damn it.
By the way, can we
The guy is a joke onto him at this point.
can we take a second to clarify to Sal that there is no F at the end of Rusev? It's a V.
I forgot about that. Yes, Rusev. Like the guy literally says his own name at the beginning of every entrance he does.
Well, since we're on the topic of Rusev at this point, I guess on Raw, I don't know what the fuck is going on. In one sense, I'm glad they're not jumping right back into Cena and Rusev like a lot of people thought they were going to do. On the other hand, and don't get me wrong, I actually am kind of glad they're giving Titus a little bit of a push. But I think what you're seeing is part of the problem this company has right now. They're going to put this guy in the U.S. title program after 90 days of not being on TV at all. They haven't heated him up. He's not shown anything to being a contender. He just kind of shows up, and now he's fighting for the U.S. title.
Nobody loves America, man. He fucking
There's
loves
no-
America.
I was honestly,
That's the bigger problem.
It's so bad that I was hoping it was Darren Young coming out when I heard the music, because at least they've done something with him the last few weeks.
Make him
Plus,
great.
Except for
Backlund wants to make America great again. It fits.
yeah, the thing with that was, did everyone forget the last time we tried to do this with Titus O'Neil? It sucked. Nobody gave a shit. It's not going to matter this time either, and it's yet another Rusev feud over the fact that he's not born in America. Can we have one feud? And we had it a little bit with Kalisto, but Kalisto doesn't fucking talk, so you never really got the point of that. But can we have one feud where it's not, hey, here's Rusev, he wasn't born here in this fucking nation, and actually have it be like, hey, this is about the championship?
Troy, be careful what you wish for, because the Dolph Ziggler program wasn't about him being from Russia either.
Yeah, well. Yeah, well, you know, it's weird kind of is. So, speaking of Rusev, and I'm going to just mispronounce everything because I'm drunk at this point. Speaking of Rusev, I have kind of a problem with the way he's now doing the accolade. Because at first it was just the camel clutch, and now he's doing the full, background like that, which looks cool. But his fucking shoulders are on the mat. That's a pinning technique. He should be getting the 3 count counted against him. Watch the next time he does it. You'll be like, hey, his fucking shoulders are on the mat. The other guy's on top of him. It's not a submission move. That's a pin.
I feel like yeah. I mean, the referee can only check on one side or count on the other, I guess. So it goes with the offensive move. But yeah, it's a good point.
Yeah, we've had so many times that this has happened in matches before where a guy tries to do a submission move and his shoulders are on the mat. Oh, he's getting counted. Oh no, he's got to release it. So
here's my problem with the super stretchy accolade is that the guy who the accolade is being applied to is really just kneeling, and it's like that doesn't look like anything at this point because.
So I think it looks a lot better, actually, than the original. It looks more devastating to me than the original one did, especially when he did it to Kalisto.
Kalisto, yeah, because he's a little flexible Mexican.
The problem is he's going to run into, try doing that shit to the Big Show.
Yeah. Try doing it to Titus O'Neil.
No,
but doing it to Zack Ryder, it was just like, oh, Zack's kneeling. Okay.
Yeah.
I guess that's a
Zack's
submission.
kneeling, and apparently he's getting some chiropractic work done.
So submission, I guess, somehow.
It always comes back to Zack Ryder with you, Adam.
Because that's who he fought on Raw this week. All right? I didn't book it. All right?
Yeah.
Although I do kind of like the Zack Ryder gimmick where it's every week it's like, well, I suck in general, but I had a WrestleMania moment, and now I'm going to be awesome this week.
He's essentially the new Axelmania.
Yeah.
He just keeps talking about his one accomplishment. Like, I was never eliminated from the Royal Rumble. I won the Intercontinental Championship and then lost it a day later because I'm a fucking idiot. And now I couldn't win my rematch on the fucking B show. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go after the United States Championship. Oh, I lost that? Oh, well, now I'm going to take a clone of myself and the two of us are going to go against the tag team championships. Oh, we lost that? Guess I'm going for that NXT championship. oh, I lost that. Guess I'm going for the TNA championship.
Him and
Oh
Mojo
wait, I was
Rawley.
fired.
Him and Mojo Rawley going to beat the shit out of Charlotte and Dana Brooke and take the women's title.
This is the only guy who created his own championship, and at this point has probably lost that as well.
By accepting a match he didn't have to accept.
Yeah. I'm sure PewDiePie owns it now or something like that.
Jesus. Two other things from Raw that I want to mention briefly. Stephanie McMahon is apparently the new Vicky Guerrero.
Oh, this is on my list.
Because at the end of Vicky's run, she was doing face things. She was doing pro-crowd, fan-friendly things, and the crowd booed the shit out of her anyway, even though she's doing things that you should be cheering her for.
I will say, she is pretty decent at doing a little bit more subtlety in it, where you can tell there is still a little bit of that heelishness to her, where she's still trying to one-up Shane. You know, the New Day come out and start talking about Shane's shoes, and she slides her foot in front of Shane's in the camera. Like, that's what makes Stephanie a little bit better at this, but it still doesn't exactly make sense with what's going on, because I'm assuming this is eventually going to lead to them revitalizing bragging rights with the two of them running each of the shows, and which means you're going to have one of them kind of be a bad guy at some point in time in the future. Obviously, it's not going to be Shane.
Somebody's got to be the John Laurinaitis.
That's right. So
Daniel Bryan to run.
People keep talking about that. First of all, if the guy is back on WWE TV, he's probably going to kill himself because he's just going to be like, I'm not wrestling. And I think everyone seems to forget Daniel Bryan is not that good on the mic. He's not that he says it himself. Don't crucify me. I know everyone loves this guy, but he says it himself. He's not as charismatic as he needs to be, and he's not like he can come back. He can come out and do the big pops and everything like that. But we're having the same kind of problem with Shane right now, where he's still a little rusty on the mic and still comes off sometimes where he doesn't quite know what the fuck's going on. And you're going to have the same kind of problem with Daniel Bryan, unless he does wind up hitting his stride. But yeah, I mean, and plus, what's Bryan going to do? Like, is he going to be like the Mick Foley back when he was commissioner? Like, that only lasts for so long before it's like you need your heels to kind of keep going, because otherwise you get fucking Roman Reigns, who never fucking loses. So why do I care that this guy is supposed to be like the big Avenger if he never fucking loses?
Keep in mind you're talking about a position that was once held by Mike fucking Adamle. So charisma, you know,
Adamle.
I think they can work around it. But back to the Stephanie thing, because I was watching Raw and I wanted to fucking jump through my TV and strangle somebody in creative. I thought they did a phenomenal job with Charlotte's promo the week before, kicking Ric Flair to the curb. I thought they did an excellent video package with the other superstars commenting on it. I thought that was great. Then cut to the back, where Stephanie takes all that heat they've built on Charlotte the last 2 weeks and just makes her look like her bitch. For no purpose, to no end, other than she can. And I didn't even know you could emasculate a woman, but Stephanie found a way to do it. And you can have that exact same Stephanie promo, but what you need to do at the end is have Stephanie say, hey, listen, is have Charlotte go, hey, Steph, I know you're just mad because I got rid of my doddering fool of an old man and you've been waiting for yours to leave forever. But as long as I've got the title, I've got the power, and there's nothing you can do about it. And walk away. You get the same promo from Stephanie. You accomplish everything you want to do with Stephanie, and you still make Charlotte hot, still have her as top heel, still have her with her heat, and still have her looking like a badass.
Yeah. And this goes back to, you know, when we were talking about Dave Bautista with his tweet, kind of ripping down Stephanie about the whole her slapping people thing. Yep. It's, you know, Stephanie seems to put herself in a position where she's untouchable, and that's a problem because there's nothing to gain from that. Mm-hmm. Like, she's the authority, but nobody can kind of get over on her. Like Batista said, she slaps the male wrestlers. There's nothing they can do about it. I mean, they can't have, like, the only time that's ever worked was when The Rock grabbed fucking Ronda Rousey out of the crowd.
Mhm.
So every other time has been her like slapping Roman Reigns and slapping Dan Bryan, stuff like that. They
Yeah, I
can't
mean-
do anything after that.
Roman speared her at WrestleMania, and it was a huge pop. It was the biggest pop of that awful match. But I mean,
Yeah.
it didn't
I'll-
get Roman over any. The crowd still fucking hates it.
I'll do you guys one fucking better. Think of the logic train on this one. She's pissed at Charlotte for humiliating Ric Flair, who she smacked the shit out of 2 weeks ago in front of the crowd, humiliating him.
Yeah.
Yeah. She was mad about humiliating Ric Flair, who we have supposed to have been hating this entire time.
Right.
Like Flair, even though people are stupid and don't realize that, I get he's got a big tenure in wrestling and everything like that, but so does fucking Snuka. And you know what? Snuka's a piece of shit, and Ric Flair's a piece of shit. Ric Flair is a drunk, womanizing asshole who doesn't belong on fucking TV anymore, yet they keep just trotting his drunk ass out there, and you never should have been there. I'm glad that they got rid of him. Problem is, they're probably going to bring him back, and they're going to team him up with, like, Becky Lynch or Paige or something like that. The same guy who a couple weeks ago told Natty to kill herself. Did we forget about that?
I don't know what you're talking about. That wasn't on TV.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. Oh, yeah.
I mean, to be fair,
Yeah,
he made
it-
points from that one.
Yeah, it doesn't make a lot of sense. And yeah, and the problem is that right now, we're at a point with the women's championship where it's getting stagnant again. It's getting stale again. It's losing interest. We had literally 5 minutes devoted to the entirety of the women's division on Monday.
Oh,
And instead we had the fucking Shane do a dance off. And when you're taking your women's champion and doing something like this, that's just killing it even more. Because at this point, who the fuck cares? Who cares about Dana Brooke? Who cares about Charlotte? They're not doing anything to make us care about it at all. And yeah, it sucks that Sasha's hurt, and she's probably now never going to get the fucking championship because that's the way that Vince McMahon thinks.
she's back. She's on main event this week.
She's back, but she got a concussion. And remember, Dolph Ziggler is in internal fucking upper mid card hell because he got a concussion a couple of years ago and he's injury prone.
Dolph
Yeah,
Ziggler.
there are reports that
Dolph
Vince McMahon now considers Sasha Banks injury prone.
Yeah, so we saw what happens when Daniel Bryan is injury prone. He was never going to get the championship again at that point. And we've seen it before with a couple other people. Dolph Ziggler, like I said, it's one of those kinds of situations where she deserves a championship run. But now when you start hearing reports like that Vince McMahon is saying he thinks she's injury prone, he's not going to put the title on her.
Lest we forget, Roman Reigns has already missed 2 extended periods of time with injury. John Cena has been out several times for 6 months plus. I really think those reports kind of tend to get overblown.
Possibly, and this will all be nothing as soon as SummerSlam rolls around and Sasha's got the championship.
Yeah.
But like I said, the problem is that you have a wealth of talent right now in the women's division, and we're in this.
No, you don't.
We're
And
in the.
I know you don't, Troy, because you mentioned on this. Let me break this down for you statistically just for a second. You have a 3-hour episode of Monday Night Raw, right?
Yep.
You have one women's match, 1 minute, 21 seconds.
Yep.
There's your women's revolution.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's the problem. You have Charlotte. They gave her a lot of time on the mic when she got rid of Ric Flair, but that segment was still about Ric Flair. And then on Monday, we've got a little backstage segment still about Ric Flair. When is it going to be about Charlotte? She got rid of this fucking guy a week ago, and they were still talking about it. And again, like you said, we get fucking less than 2 minutes for a women's match. You've got Becky Lynch, who did a run-in. That was the extent of her fucking time on there. You got Dana Brooke. You still have some of the other women. You've got, Lana, who all she did was say, "Hey, it's Rusev." You got Maurice, who all she said was, "Hey, it's The Miz." You're not using anybody. Yeah, fuck off. But that's the thing, though, is we have Natalya, and she lost, and instead of us being like, "Hey, let's do another round of Natalia, or let's keep going with it. Now we bring in Dana Brooke. I mean, is the women's championship going to be on the line at Money in the Bank? Are we going, or is it going to be a Charlotte Dana Brooke versus Natalia and Becky Lynch? Because that's what it looks like right now. And if you're going to have one of your, let's call it, better than average pay-per-view special events Money in the Bank without the women's championship being defended, that's kind of burying that division again. Where we're going to just give 5 minutes to this tag team match that no one really cares about.
And that's
when we could. Yeah, go ahead.
And that's coming off of WrestleMania, where you can make a very solid case that the women put on the best match on the show.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Yeah. We had the opportunity now that we could have done our very first women's Money in the Bank match.
So they still may do, from what I'm hearing.
Yeah, well, we'll see. And then you've, on top of that, we've got, I mean, Sasha was hurt, I get that, but you still got Summer Rae, even though she's got kind of X-Pac heat at this point. You've got Natalia, and like I said, you've got your 4 bigger stars in a fucking tag team kind of thing going down right now, and you've got Charlotte, who doesn't have a legitimate contender. When the whole story at this point should be, Charlotte, I'm going to do this on my own. I'm going to beat Natalia again, and Natalia should be sitting there and going, hey, I only lost because that fucking Ric Flair was out here. That should be leading to a match between the two of them at Money in the Bank, where it's, hey, there's no Ric Flair now, let's do this now, and let's actually settle this feud, and then move on to something else at fucking In Your House or whatever the hell the pay-per-view is next.
Battleground. Sorry, I looked it up.
Nobody gives a shit.
But there was no Ric Flair at the last pay-per-view, and she still was stupid and lost the match. The problem, and I don't for the life of me understand why we're continuing the Natalia angle. I think we've done it to death at this point.
Divas.
She's been... Well, then put Eva Marie in there. Do something different, at least.
No, don't do that.
No, don't do that. Do the logical thing. Becky Lynch.
Sure.
What is she doing right now?
But
Nothing.
Becky's already had her one-on-ones with Charlotte, too. Paige? Sure. No problem with Paige. Let's do that. We never even really scratched the surface of the Paige and Charlotte thing. They could absolutely go back to that. Everything. Yeah. The problem that division has right now is that everything is a placeholder till SummerSlam when they get to Sasha and Charlotte.
Isn't that the problem with our entire show right now, though? Everything leading up to Money in the Bank, other than the Money in the Bank match, is a giant placeholder.
Well,
you've got every feud that we've got going on right now is either going to stretch to SummerSlam or is going to be done at fucking Battleground, so that way we can jumpstart into SummerSlam, because we've got Rollins and Reigns. Well, guess what? That's going to be probably the headliner of SummerSlam. You've got, at this point now, I mean, the Cena and AJ Styles was finally a new feud that started up. But other than that, you've got the Money in the Bank match, which was essentially just the guys from the Intercontinental Championship match that lost. And let's throw in Alberto Del Rio because he's not doing anything. And Chris Jericho and Dean Ambrose, because we're just going to lump that feud into it together. So their feud is continuing. And then we've got this mystery 7th person who it almost sounded like they were just going to do 6 people.
Yeah, they seem to change it. Yeah.
Yeah, but then if you look at WWE.com, it still has a mystery 7th person on the thing, so it still sounds like it. And we were talking about it a little bit on Monday, but yeah, it was like, this is the 6 people that are competing in the Money in the Bank ladder match. And it's like, well, no, wait, there's supposed to be 7. That's why I was sitting there and I'm like,
the 6 people who have already qualified for the Money in the Bank ladder.
Yeah, but it doesn't make a whole lot of sense, because it's like, well, why are we still holding this one spot open? You had your perfect opportunity there for that person to announce themselves, come out and lay waste to everyone in the ring and fucking point up to the briefcase, which was hanging above the ring the entire match, and be like, oh, there's our 7th person. It's Randy Orton.
I was going to say, but maybe Randy's not ready yet.
Well, I think it's going to be Bray Wyatt more than Orton anyway, but I think you're talking about Monday was kind of the return of John Cena. I don't think they wanted to muddle another return in there that was kind of going to be an afterthought to the Cena return. I think Wyatt probably shows up on Monday, or Orton if it's him. But my guess is whoever that person is going to be revealed on Monday, and it is someone who's returning, and that's why they didn't do it this week.
Well, and that's fine. You don't, if you don't want to do it, then don't have your main event be the six-man tag match with them because first of all, that's more your go-home show kind of thing, anyways. Because let's be honest with us. But I will say one thing: that whole the segment leading up to that, I thought was really enjoyable. The two segments actually, when you had first the faces kind of talking with each other. You had Dean Ambrose making fun of Canadians, which was hilarious. You know, and then even the heels, of course. Anytime you put Jericho and KO,
I thought we had a good thing going.
Those two, yeah, those two guys were golden. And then Del Rio putting his little 2 cents in there was kind of nice too. I mean, at least that was something, and it leads a little bit more to like, hey, you know, we are leading to something here. We're still not cohesive. You've got guys taking themselves in and things like that. You know, you had actually really good Cesaro segment for once, but then you think about, you know, the whole thing with the Intercontinental Championship match. Don't worry about it. I see you making faces. I have the windows open. Don't worry about it. There was nothing. You've got
that just way to make it sound less sketchy, Troy. No, really, don't worry about that. There's nothing going on there. There's not 4 dudes in my yard doing.
Yeah. Now we're going to go 4 to 6 weeks without the Intercontinental Championship being defended at all, which was really strange, because now we've got The Miz off filming a horrifically bad movie that'll probably be in your car wash's $5 bin. Go check it out soon. The Marine 5. Miz is in it, and he's taking on the Social Outcasts.
Yeah, there's 6 WWE talents in this movie.
Well, let's not use the word talents, but
yeah, that's a stretch.
Okay, the other thing, now that we've exhausted that topic completely, the other thing that I wanted to briefly touch on was the whole Seth Rollins Chris Jericho impersonation.
Wait, what?
What?
Seth Rollins Chris Jericho impersonation. I thought do you mean Dolph Ziggler's Chris Jericho impersonation? Because that was fucking terrible.
No, I meant Seth Rollins Chris Jericho impersonation when he comes out against Roman Reigns with a microphone and then says absolutely nothing. And then, am I going to get in the ring? I'm not going to get in the ring. Am I going to get in the ring? I'm not going to get in the ring. Okay. I'm going to go to the back. Am I going to get in the ring? I'm not going to get in the ring. Okay. This stuff. It was fun a couple times, but it went on a little bit too long.
Allow me to submit that as an early candidate for the worst segment on Raw the entire year. That was just horseshit. Rarely does it get to the point where I'm like, I can't fucking watch a show anymore. I switched over to the basketball game at that point. I had enough. Like, I was so pissed off that you spent 10 minutes of my life and my viewing time to do that. He's coming, he's going. He's coming, he's going. He's coming, he's going. Oh, and by the way, we're gonna make you fucking sick from the way we're shaking the camera around like crazy. It was brutal. It was just horrible, and it speaks to their complete lack of understanding of what their crowd wants.
Yeah, definitely.
And Seth Rollins in and of itself, I don't know if you guys have watched the 24 special, but I watched it the other day, and how you film that and don't have him come back as a babyface, it is just idiotic.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. Why don't we go ahead and ask creative about that whole Adam Rose thing, where we did a whole story about this guy, and then we proceeded to not use him at all.
The subtle difference there, Troy. That Adam Rose thing was done entirely by ESPN. WWE had no control over how they put that together. This was a WWE produced documentary.
Oh, it is baffling. It is baffling to me. This is the last opportunity that they have to try to get Roman Reigns over as a face, and it's not fucking working, and it's not going to work.
No.
The only way that I think that you would have been able to put somebody up against Roman Reigns and actually have people cheer Roman Reigns was if you actually had either fucking Sheamus or you brought back X-Pac. That's the only way, because at this point we already knew people were going to be cheering Rollins, and we have this to the point now. Now, my love for Rollins has been well documented, despite the fact that he seems like he's human garbage at this point. Him coming back, everyone is like, oh, you know what? maybe him as champion was actually not that bad. Maybe it was actually pretty decent in comparison. Because now look what we have. We have fucking Mr. Suffering Succotash as our champion.
That's not his
And
fault.
it's not gonna. It's probably not gonna get much better after the brand split, because we all know that Reigns is going to be still the face of the WWE. He's going to be the Raw champion, and the SmackDown champion is most likely yet again going to be kind of the A2 or you know the step down, maybe even all the way down to B champion at this point. No matter who they put in that role, whether they're over or not more, it's still going to be the Roman Reigns show.
And in the biggest irony in the company right now, if you want to get people to cheer for Reigns, turn him fucking heel. That will get people to cheer for him.
Right.
So, and part of them not knowing how to deal with this is the fact that they don't get the fans. And if they put a guy out there and make him an asshole, the fans cheer him. If they put out there and make him a nice guy, and then the fans boo him. They don't know how to get the fans to react the way they want them to anymore.
And this is the problem. I truly believe, I mean, a great part of this is Vince McMahon. A small part of it is Triple H. We can't say that enough. That we rip on creative, but really it's still Vince McMahon and still Triple H that have the writers running scared, where they don't even want to come forward with ideas because they know they're going to get shot down. We've heard it from a couple of different ex writers and everything like that hey, we would give them a list of different things. It's up to them what they would choose on the thing. We know that. But again, you've got some of these guys who are just writers. They're not wrestling fans. They're not wrestling writers. So they're not going to quite understand. All they're going to do is, hey, I got to try to make this compelling. Hey, I've got this roster of guys. I've got next to them is whatever they are at this point. So you got Fandango, dancer, okay. You got Roman Reigns, the guy, and then they're trying to take those guys and being like, all right, we know that these guys are the ones that they're trying to push right now. So let's try to create storylines to make them a little bit better. But the problem is that you have a bunch of guys who are just like, oh well, we're being told that Roman Reigns is the main guy, so we've got to keep having bad guys go against him. So of course they're going to come back and be like, oh, Rollins is coming back. Oh, he was a bad guy when he left. Well, let's just keep making him a bad guy. And to Rollins' credit, they, I'm sure that they pulled him aside and said, hey, we need you to go out there and make yourself a bad guy. He got the crowd to boo him within like 3 minutes of him coming back and getting the mic. So I will give him that. Yeah. But yeah, it's still, let's just keep shoving this guy down their throat. And let's, hope for the best. And now we've actually got it where you've got fucking JBL sitting there and being like, whether you love him or hate him, he is divisive. That's not who you want as your top star. Why would you want your top star to have people fucking hate him? Isn't that going to hurt your sales? Isn't that going to hurt your ratings?
It didn't hurt them with Cena. I mean, it's been the same thing for a while now. In that regard, the last two top faces this company has had have been guys that fans incessantly want to boo. But you said it's to me it's more Vince McMahon than it is Triple H by far. Mm-hmm. And the reason I say that is because you can look down at NXT where it is Triple H's show. He is the Vince McMahon in NXT. He's the last line of everything it goes through. Vince doesn't have really his hands on that at all. And you see that old school, clearly defined faces, clearly defined heels. This guy's going for a title. We warm him up for a couple months beforehand. We get him ready so he's a legitimate contender. We do a number one contenders match on the pay-per-view so people know why this guy's getting a title shot. All those things that make NXT so great and so enjoyable are the exact things that are lacking from the main roster. Mm-hmm. So mm-hmm. I honestly feel like the main roster will be in a much better place when Triple H is running it. And 5 years ago, if you had asked me that, I would have thrown up in my mouth if I had heard people say that. But I honestly believe it today after seeing what NXT's turned into.
Agreed, 100%. You call it baffling, but it's I don't think it's that baffling. I think it's Vince McMahon going, this is the guy, and motherfucker, I don't care what you say, this is the fucking guy, and he doesn't take that outside input and go, hey, maybe this isn't the guy, or maybe there's a different way that we can present the guy to make the guy the guy. No, he just goes, this is the guy. We're gonna shove it down your throat until you realize that this is the guy, and you're gonna cheer the guy. And I don't give a shit what you think about the guy. He's the guy.
Well, and you talked about Vince McMahon, and outside of the Sasha Banks thing, because that's injury related, but you think about it, and recently you've had reports where he doesn't quite understand why people like Kevin Owens, but he's starting to warm up to him, and he doesn't get the Sami Zayn thing, and
That doesn't surprise me.
he doesn't get the vaudevillains, and he wants them not to be pushed now, and he killed Tyler.
Be, though.
And he killed Tyler after 2 weeks. The guy just can't let something develop and let it breathe. If it's not balls to the wall, hot, popping the crowd, 5 minutes after it starts, he gives up on it and moves on to the next toy.
Right.
Let's
Which
put it this way.
Which is why it's so goddamn surprising that the New Day have been tag team champions for 283 days.
Well, who else have they gotten to be a legitimate contender for them?
That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that. I'm saying given how the New Day started, it's shocking that they still exist at this point. But
yes, yeah, because let's not forget when the New Day started, they were militant black guys,
super happy best friends,
and somehow they're yeah, you're right. Somehow they're still around. The thing is though is when do you actually see Vince McMahon either dying or stepping down from the company?
I think he's going to have to die before he steps down from the company.
He's never going to step down. He's going to die in Gorilla with a headset on and a pen in his hand.
Yeah.
But
so
you got to think there's a reason Shane decided to pick now to come back. Maybe
yeah. But what I'm getting
reports coming out today that Vince has also given up on the Shining Stars after their one match on Raw since they're repackaging. So.
Well, fucking release them, honestly. So here's actually they could be released pretty soon. I shouldn't say that. Here's the thing: if Vince McMahon sticks around for another 5 years, which obviously at this point is completely reasonable, if he sticks around for another 5 years, you know who's not in the WWE anymore? Kevin Owens, AJ Styles. Those are two big guys that you waste because Vince McMahon is still around. Because both of those guys are going to be pushing 40 in 5 years. And at that point, I don't see them getting any kind of main event push. Or I don't see them... When was the last time Chris Jericho had a championship?
He's been in the mix of everything, though. He's in the Money in the Bank match. He's been in the high-profile spots.
He's been in high-profile spots, but so was fucking Dean Ambrose.
Oop.
We may have just lost Troy, ladies and gentlemen. Not sure what happened there.
Dean Ambrose cut off his internet.
Yeah. I kind of see what you're saying about Chris Jericho, but Jericho is the guy who is brought in. Okay, Troy's back. Jericho's the guy who is brought in to fill a spot to give credibility, I feel, more so than...
Then why does he keep winning over these other guys who he's supposed to be giving credibility?
We've talked about that already on this show before.
I mean, look at WrestleMania. WrestleMania tells you all you need to know.
Absolutely should not have beat AJ Styles at WrestleMania.
Chris Jericho. What were the biggest moments and packaged as the biggest moments of WrestleMania? Shawn Michaels, Mick Foley, Stone Cold, The Rock, The Undertaker, Chris Jericho. It was all the old guys. Those are the only guys they have faith in at this point. So
they just can't do anything.
When those guys get to 40, I think there's a legitimate shot. Maybe Vince will finally have accepted them as legitimate top guys. I don't know.
That is possible. I'm not going to say that that's not possible. I just look at it as, we keep sitting around and waiting for the guy to die or to give it up. But this is the way that this whole company is going to be for the foreseeable future, unless somebody assassinates him. So maybe if we hire Ahmad Hassan back, maybe then we'll be able to get a jihad out on him, and we'll be able to get some better booking.
Something's going to happen. The ratings continue to tank. They don't know how to develop a new star. They don't know how to put... I don't know. You don't know what to say at this point.
Yeah.
Can I move on to one more thing I want to point out?
Oh, before we do that, theme song.
So, line of the week on this week's Monday Night Raw.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if you caught this during the New Day match, but at one point, Michael Cole says, "Yeah, and John, as you pointed out last week, our herd of unicorns is called a glory." And then JBL proceeds to follow that with, "Yes, and right now they're stomping a glory hole in Aiden English."
Oh boy.
The phrase "glory hole" was used on Monday Night
Monday
Raw.
Night Raw.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
I can't imagine that JBL has never once used a glory hole. That's never happened. So I don't understand how he didn't understand what he was saying.
I don't know, but I literally spit out my drink when I heard it because I had to rewind it and make sure I had heard it correctly. But it was there, plain as day.
Plain as New Day.
Yes, right in the middle of it. Right in the middle of Aiden English, they put a glory hole. Yes.
By the way, can we just do a hair versus hair match against Aiden English? Dude, just fucking cut that hair. Let's do a hair versus hair match. Aiden English versus Baron Corbin, and they have a double count out, and they both have to shave their fucking bald heads.
I'm pretty sure they would just kick each other in the dicks for a double disqualification.
Hey, they
By
still
the way.
both lose.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Hey, and you know who wins? The fucking fans and their careers, because then we don't have to look at their fucking terrible bald. Aiden English is probably a little bit worse because it kind of works for Corbin, but come on, dude.
So I think it's
Let's-
worse for Corbin because he's got all the long stringy hair in the back and then like nothing
Yeah.
in the front.
Yeah,
That looks worse.
it's it's party in the back, middle-aged man in the front. You know.
I mean, Aiden English also originally played kind of like the hipster douchebag artist type, which I think that hairstyle kind of plays into a little bit. So I think he's
That is one of
probably
the reasons I always called him the jacked up math teacher, Aiden English.
Yeah.
Wasn't
Well,
that Matt
speaking-
Striker?
No, that was he a math teacher? I thought he
He was
I
a
thought he was
teacher
an English
or something.
teacher. I thought he was an English teacher. Anyways, speaking of terrible haircuts, Dolph Ziggler's terrible fucking promo that he did backstage, where he tried to ape off of Dean Malenko and Chris Jericho's.
Oh god.
Armbar.
I'd forgotten about
Yeah.
By the way, the
It was-
super kick is not a hold.
that. Yeah.
He also said the famouser. Also not a hold. But I think
You
he
realize
did.
that it's WWE where a no holds barred match means nothing, and
Yeah.
a chair shot is a hold in a no holds barred match.
Apparently, yeah. But yeah, so his thing was terrible. I did laugh about him kicking him in the dick and walking away. I thought that was actually very funny, and it actually was a little bit more character development for Dolph Ziggler, a lot more than just I have new pants and I'm apparently Shawn Michaels now.
I thought it was funny. I cried when I realized it meant this feud is continuing now.
Yeah, that is true. But whatever. I mean, it's better than all of a sudden now we've got good guy Big Show walking around backstage giving advice to people, and then he picks. If you're going to give Apollo Crews, if you're going to give Apollo Crews any advice, here's your first advice: Apollo, stop smiling.
Yeah.
Second, learn to talk. Third, I have an acting coach right over here. I just
Hopefully
need you
not
to
the
come
same
with
acting
me.
coach who worked with Roman Reigns.
Roman Reigns could have delivered that line better.
I
I didn't
enjoyed-
realize it was a joke. When Big Show came in there and he's like, "I'm not here to hurt you," and Apollo Crews is like, "Good, because I didn't want to hurt you." I was like, "Is this a feud?" I was like, "Oh, he's trying to tell a joke. It's a joke." The guy said that line with the same inflection of, "Yeah, that Sheamus is a bad guy." Like,
Yeah.
come on, dude.
Apollo
Yeah.
Crews makes the Linda Bot 3000 look like fucking
Yeah.
Shawn Michaels.
That
Like,
whole segment was just a plethora of awful things, though. With Big
It
Show
was-
going, "I like you," and my
It was
next thought
weird
was,
because
Big Show goes, "I like you," and my next thought was, "But I don't like you. Like, no, he goes, "But I'm not gonna let you come in my bus and eat all my food." Like, what the fuck? Shut up.
And I felt for just a second, I was like, is he going to make a racist joke? I feel like he's going to make a racist joke. Because I feel
I'm
like
not gonna come in my
proposal.
bus and eat fried chicken and watermelon.
Yeah. I feel like that's the line that Michael Hayes slipped to him at first, and he's like, dude, I can't say that. No. Come on,
I-
man. You know better than this.
You know what, though? I think I'm really excited for the 550th Big Show turn when he turns on Apollo Crews during that match with Sheamus and goes heel.
At least that would be a more interesting feud than Sheamus, because Sheamus ruins everything.
I'm sorry.
Um,
I still to this day maintain the feud with the Big Show really ruined Roman Reigns. I think that feud did him no favors when everyone was geared up for him. At that point, to have a title push and they were all behind him, and they said, "Oh, let's have him have these slow lumbering matches with this guy that can't really work anymore."
Yeah. You know who else the Big Show decided to kill? Fucking Eric Rowan when they had a stairs match.
Oh, Jesus. Tables, ladders, chairs, and stairs.
Word. Yeah. But if this is what the Big Show does now, if he just walks around the back and explains the storylines to people, I'm okay.
In his gear. Again, if you're not okay, if you're not
he
booked on the
didn't
show,
wrestle.
yeah, if we're not going to see you in a match on this show, be in fucking street clothes, because otherwise you'll look like an idiot.
Yeah, do you think that fucking like Brie Bella's walking around in her full fucking outfit even when she's retired? You think someone's just like, wait, what are you doing? Why are you wearing that?
And to their
Because you
credit,
never know. You never know.
they've done that with Charlotte too, though. Charlotte comes out in street clothes for her promos now, and I think it's an awesome small little touch that makes it better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because you know what? It's not like fucking Zack Ryder who magically you see in the back and you're like, why is he in full ring gear? Like even when they do those things in the back, like when they have people walking through, it's typically the wrestlers are not in their full ring gear. They're waiting around. I think that's why Dean Ambrose has got it right. If your fucking ring gear is just literally what you walked into the arena with, you're good to go, man.
Well, you never know. I mean, that ring attire probably made it harder for him to climb a cage and get to the potted plant. So,
I will say with the Big Show, there is probably a good chance that he wrestled a dark match, and it's probably incredibly difficult for him to get undressed out of that giant fucking tarp that he wears.
Was that a joke?
Clothes.
Was the dark match a joke because he was in the segment with Apollo Crews?
No.
Okay.
No, but I do like that now. Is we're gonna start having WWE dark matches. Every tag team match is a dark match now, just because it's got the New Day in it. The New Day, who by the way are the now record holder for longest combined reigns of the WWE Tag Team Championships, not the World Tag Team Championships, mind you, the Tag Team Championships.
Past London and Kendrick today.
Yep. So expect that.
I was going to mention that later, but okay. Yeah, Big E tweeted about it.
If you don't want me to tell things, then send me the script beforehand, okay?
I mean, in Adam's defense, man, you rolled in 2 seconds before we started the show. I mean,
also, we don't have a script on this show. What the fuck you kidding?
I have one. I came prepared.
You know what we do have.
Theme song.
You know what we do have. Another voicemail.
Uh-oh.
This one is not from a time traveler.
Oh no.
Where are you going? Come back. You have to listen to this voicemail. Oh, okay. I was hoping you didn't have lights, so you would just slowly fade into darkness.
I am wearing a black shirt.
I was a little concerned that he wasn't wearing pants at that point because it got a little close there.
I got shorts on.
Okay.
All right. One more voicemail.
My name is Tommy Moltisanti, and I am a bona fide G and a certified stud. And Google can't read that. And this right here, this is Big Vinny. And he's 400 pounds.
Oh, wow. What the hell is going on?
That. How you doing? And I will tell you right now.
Was that Ryback as a bully? What the fuck is that?
And Enzo were hilarious last night on Raw.
That's Ryborg.
Did I think they were going to start naming off
I don't know. It was a little
cheeses?
cheesy.
No. Did I think it was a little cheesy?
God damn it.
Oh, he took it. He took a joke.
But I'll tell you this. They got the Dudley boys jobbing out now, left and right. I don't mind.
You
I'm
broke
a fan of
Jason,
Big
by the
Cass
way,
and
Tommy. I
Enzo,
hope you're
but-
happy with yourself.
Guys, you could make this feud interesting if you had the Dudleys be a little vicious. I mean, come on. They just fucking dropped out like they were the social outcast. And speaking of dropping out, I will say I did enjoy Dolph Ziggler going through his whole shtick that he was an amateur wrestler, his career at Kent State. He put the headgear on, he put the mouthpiece in, and then he kicked Baron Corbin right in the nuts. That was funny, except for the fact that I don't really want to see this feud continue. But if they got nothing else for them to, might as well let it continue. Now you could have a kick in the nuts match next week. And to see who can kick who in the nuts, best 3 out of 5. As far as Apollo Crews and the Big Show, man, I don't know why Big Show's got to be the talker in that segment. That shows you just how much Apollo can't cut a promo. Charlotte. I like what you did last week as far as putting your father out the pasture. I don't care much for your association with Dana Brooke. However, I did know for a fact that Becky Lynch was going to come out for this save. So now we can have a tag match of Becky and Natalya and Charlotte Flair and Dana Brooke. Okay. I don't know. I'm just waiting for Sasha to get back. And as far as the New Day goes...
Did you forget there for a
Wow.
second?
Let's see if WWE does keep them together after the brand split. How you doing?
Why the fuck wouldn't they? They're the tag team goddamn champions.
Yeah, that whole segment didn't exactly make sense.
Nope. No sense at all.
So I understand if maybe one of them were to draft it to another show, but you're going to draft like the entirety of a tag team who have the championship belts, right? Like,
It's
that
also-
just wouldn't-
It's also not like there's 3 different shows and they can each be drafted to a different show.
right. It's
You're
like,
going to
so-
end up with at least 2 of them on the same show.
right.
Well,
Exactly.
At the beginning of the first brand split, it was set up so that the champions all floated between all the shows, so the tag team champions stayed together, which would be interesting in this scenario because it gives them more incentive to hold on to the titles than they guaranteed to get to stay together.
It was really weird that first couple of brand splits and those drafts, because it was like all of a sudden like one heavyweight champion would be drafted to one show, and then like all of a sudden the other one would go to the other show.
It's crazy how that happened. wasn't
It just kept lining up. It just kept lining up
you
really
remember-
nice.
Like one announcer would get drafted, and then like 10 minutes later, the other one
Completely
would
at random.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember the night John Cena got drafted to SmackDown at the beginning of Raw and then
Yeah.
back to Raw at the end of Raw?
Yeah. Let's hope that doesn't happen,
Jeez.
because otherwise this I'm still not positive that this is going to go over well, because this could go over like a Led Zeppelin. Honestly, if they do it right, it could be really good. The problem is that, you know, as deep as they say their roster is, they don't have that many huge stars. Back when we first did this draft, we had like 10 main event talents. Right now we've got, what, 5, 6, somewhere around there, and a bunch of mid-card guys. We seem to be losing some guys that we could have been propelling up to the mid-card or upper mid-card, like Cody and Damian and Ryborg. And, you know, so we're going to get a whole bunch. After SummerSlam, this might be a little bit of a dumpster fire, because we're going to not only have the brand split, but then we're also going to have just a shit ton of NXT guys come flying up. And so we're going to have to... It's going to probably be a good month or two before things kind of calm down and we figure out who's sinking and who's floating on this one. Because if they're just throwing guys at us left and right, it's going to get messy.
Well, and we still have guys out there like Bobby Roode and Eric Young that will either be taking those spots at NXT of the guys that get called up, or maybe called up them or signed to the main roster themselves. Who knows what they're going to do with those guys? But there's talent like that floating around. I don't think there's going to be any shortage of guys they can use, and I think the one advantage to the brand split is it's going to help propel some of those guys to the upper level out of necessity, like you talked about. And that's, like I said, in the past, that's how we got Edge. That's how we got Eddie Guerrero. That's how we got Rey Mysterio.
Sure.
That's one thing that the brand split was good for before, especially when Paul Heyman was writing SmackDown, and they were beating Raw as the B show every week. So.
God, those were great days. Those were
Yeah,
great
but
days.
that's kind of the problem because I'm pretty sure that he's not going to be doing that this time around. So.
No, but the guy who is going to be writing the SmackDown is going to be Ryan Ward, who just recently came up to SmackDown. He's been the head writer for NXT. So
That's the one that was flirting with the developmental divas.
no, he was he was working with them in developmental. Of course, he was
Working with them.
There are rumors flying about the brand split. There are rumors. Of course, as we've spoken about, they're going to have 2 world titles. They're just figuring out a way to introduce a second world title. The thought is leading off that it's going to be Roman Reigns on Raw and Cena on SmackDown as the kind of head guys on each brand. Ed Dukoski and Ryan Ward will be the head writers. So looking like thoughts are that Steph will run Raw and Shane will run SmackDown.
Mm-hmm.
It would fit. I think they're going to make great pains to try to make SmackDown kind of like, because that's the brand that needs to be rebuilt a little bit.
Sure, absolutely, because it's been nothing but a Raw recap show since the brand split ended.
So I think that's going to be put over as the young hip show. So I think you're going to get Cena there because he can work with these young guys and put on really credible, good matches.
Because remember, the new era has to go through him.
Yeah. The other thing too is when they hired Mauro Ranallo to the SmackDown, they had talked about the fact that SmackDown was going to be a kind of in between, not quite Raw, not quite NXT show. Mm-hmm. So it does make more sense that if we're going to do a brand split, it's going to be the established guys more towards Raw, with a lot of the younger guys going probably like your Sami Zayns, your Kevin Owens, but then also a lot of the call-ups too. Shinsuke Nakamura would probably be there. Samoa Joe will most likely be there.
I don't know about that. It'd be interesting to see who they're going to bring up from NXT, because you don't want like a mass exodus out of the company, because they still need to. That's still a hot brand. They still need to populate that. And like I said, you can bring in your Bobby Roodes and your Eric Youngs, but you still need those guys that have already been established on the brand.
Yeah, there are also rumors that they're looking to bring in a lot of guys, because there are times when they will have up to 4 tours going at once, with your Raw tour, your SmackDown tour, and then 2 separate NXT tours.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So they're going to need to bring people in.
And as much as everyone's hot for them to bring up Bayley, you look at the rest of that women's division, there's not a whole lot else there. So I don't know if they're going to be able to do that. Nakamura, to me, is probably going to stay down there a little bit longer, probably get a little bit of a run with that title. But Hideo Itami is supposedly coming back, too, so they've got that on the horizon down in the next.
They've got their token Japanese guy down there, so they don't need one. Obviously,
Joe will probably be up at some point, but I imagine it's going to be Balor first. I could see American Alpha getting a call-up quick, which is really amazing when you factor in Gable's only been working for about 2 years now. So
the only problem with that is, you do have to have a certain number of stars down there. So obviously, you could keep Bayley down there. I don't think Asuka's coming up. Nia Jax is a little too green to come up, so you kind of need that as your main people. I can see them probably bringing Carmella up, in terms of the women, just because she's not really doing anything right now, and she's not a big enough draw down there to really kind of say, hey, let's keep her down there. But you need a tag team division still, so the Revival, you need someone to go against them. Your tag team champions, American Alpha, I don't see them coming up yet, although they are a pretty good hot top, but the problem that you become then is, how many tag teams do you expect to have on each show? Because you're going to look at probably about 4 to 5 tag teams per brand. And right now, we've got that, because we've got fucking Golden Truth and fucking Febreze. So, I don't know that you need a lot.
In terms of the depth in NXT, keep in mind, they're now really kind of pushing Ciampa and Gargano as a tag team down there.
They just debuted those Australian guys whose name I can't remember.
The Mighty Don't Kneel, or TM61 is what they're calling them.
TM61, yeah, that's what it is.
So they're beefing up that tag division as it is. And to me, that's
my favorite achievement in Pokemon, TM61.
And to me, that's a sign that they are maybe planning on bringing up American Alpha, or at least one of those teams. They split up Blake and Murphy.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I think Alpha's on their way up. I think this is a sign that they're putting other guys in the mix in that tag team division, and they're getting ready to go with them.
Sure. Yeah, and that would be really good. And obviously they are pretty over there. The problem is will they be given enough time? Because it took a little bit for that tag team to take off. At first, nobody really cared about American Alpha. Like Gable was pretty over, but Jason Jordan was, this is the guy who's already kind of gone through a couple of different tag team partners, and he's got the look, but he doesn't really have everything. Then Gable, like you said, a guy who's been wrestling for 2 years, wound up bringing out the best in him, but it was through vignettes, it was through backstage segments.
The setup for Jordan Gable was pretty cliched because it was, Jordan trying to find a tag team partner he can actually win with, and Chad Gable going, "Come on, pick me, look, pick me, I'm cool, pick me," and you're sitting there going, "Well, it's okay, it's obviously going to be him in the end."
Right.
Yeah, the problem is that I worry that since we're probably never going to get Kurt Angle back in the WWE, that because of their name,
Not as a wrestler.
yeah, I don't even think
fuck
as
did Adam go?
I think he's dead.
I'm
not even sure if he would come at this point if they would bring him back as a manager. I mean, he would be great as a manager of American Alpha, but the thing that worries me is that they're going to stick these two guys with Jack Swagger.
I still think the money. I still think the money program is I still think the money program is a short-term return for Charlie Haas and Shelton Benjamin, and do that with American Alpha.
First of all, I think Charlie Haas is dead. Second of all,
no, he's still setting up rings at his own promotion. So I've seen pictures recently.
So yes, I mean having the world's greatest tag team back would be great. I love those guys. I don't know what they're exactly able to do anymore. Charlie, I don't know how.
Well, Shelton's
he was
killing it in
kind
Japan.
of old. Shelton is amazing.
Yeah.
Charlie was already kind of old when he was wrestling. He's probably mid-40s at this point, and I don't know what kind of shape he's in. I don't know how good he is, but that's been kind of our crutch for a while here, is bringing back the old guys like the Dudley Boys and things like that, and it not really working out that well. So.
Well, I think the Dudley Boys have helped Enzo and Cass get over as legitimate main roster. So I think they're serving their purpose. They're doing what they were brought back to do.
Did you see Bubba Ray shut down some douchebag on Twitter earlier?
Yeah.
I think it was today or yesterday. Fantastic.
Yeah.
And it gave us the best
thing.
line of the night on Monday Night Raw, where they keep it G like a Packers helmet. I know, it's phenomenal.
Yeah. See, and that's, when you've got a guy like that, when you got a guy like Enzo, you don't need much to get them over. They could have had them against the fucking Shining Stars, and this feud would still be one of the hottest ones going on right now, simply because of them two guys. The Dudley Boys, they do add a little bit to it, more than your average team. But again, it's mainly those two guys. So, but I do think that having the Dudleys feud against American Alpha or one of the other new tag teams that come up would still be very beneficial too.
Yeah, I think the Dudley Boys carry a certain mystique with them and a certain credibility that when you beat them, it really adds to it. Something like the Shining Stars don't carry that, obviously.
Yeah.
Would you call it a je ne sais quoi?
Listen, Adam, I'm not interested in your three-ways, okay? Nothing to do with that.
The only thing that at this point will save Primo and Epico is if they bring back Carlito.
Yeah,
yes, he's the only thing that could save those guys. And I don't know why we haven't done it already. It seemed like, when he was back for the Hall of Fame segment that, hey, obviously there's not that much bad blood there because he's willing to come back. I know that you've got guys like Randy Orton who, hates everybody. But, I think that Carlito would be really good. I think that bringing back John Morrison would be really good. If only so we can get some more parkour. But I think that there are a wealth of guys out there. We did lose a lot of really good guys, but Drew Galloway would be a great guy to bring back. I think he's a little bit busy right now, though.
You're assuming TNA is going to be in business.
Don't say the Hardy Boys.
We have done that for a while. No. So listen. I've always been a very big Matt Hardy fan. Okay, and even through some of his more trying times, I still proudly wear his Mattitude shirt. Listen.
That is one of the greatest.
Listen.
That is one of the greatest non-eliminations in the Royal Rumble in history. I will say that. Him and Shannon Moore.
Listen.
Okay, fucking spit it out there, Chief.
That
Plus, he gave us the first
was-
2 in the pink, 1 in the stink
Yeah.
hand gesture.
Listen. That was worse than Katie Vick. Okay.
You're not down for the Cruella DeVille angle that Matt Hardy's running?
Listen. No.
How many times can Troy say "listen" in 15 minutes?
Listen,
I am 100% okay with him throwing the streak in his hair. I love the joke about Seth Rollins' streak getting future endeavored and showing up in TNA. I've been enjoying the memes that we've been getting from that. The guy is trying something different. He's kind of Willow 2.0 at this point. That entire segment for a wrestling promotion that is trying to be a wrestling promotion and not just a weird gimmick. That was like 2 guys with a fucking iPhone in their backyard, uploading it to YouTube so they can get likes.
which is ironically how the Hardys started in the wrestling business.
Which is great. But you've been doing this for 20 years now. You have, I know that they don't have a huge budget, but they've got a little bit more of a budget than that.
I don't know about that.
So for anyone who hasn't seen it, at the end.
Yeah, this was the main event segment.
This was the main event segment of it.
It's on the Rundown Facebook page for those of you who haven't seen it.
And which does link to our Twitter. So
yeah. We had Broken Matt Hardy, which is what he's kind of going by now.
Broken.
He had kind of teased that he had invited Jeff Hardy, his brother, over to Matt's house, which apparently has a ring to it.
Is it an abandoned warehouse with a wrestling ring in it and a tape?
An abandoned warehouse with a wrestling ring. Yeah. He invited
in
Jeff.
A house that looks like the goddamn Kennedy compound.
Yeah. So he invited his brother over to his house. Mm-hmm. Not for barbecue, not for wings, but to sign a contract so that they can have a match at Slammiversary.
Oh, hold on, Troy, one more time. To sign a contract that Jeff had already signed on TV the week before. So Jeff went all the way there to watch Matt sign this contract.
To watch him sign it. To watch him. Yes, you are correct. Now, these two guys have been in the business long enough to know that contract signings do not go as planned. So what we got was Jeff comes over, Matt signs the contract. At this point, Jeff could leave. He could just be like, thanks, see ya. He doesn't. Instead, he continues to let Matt ramble on, call him Brother Nero, which was weird. Just I don't call my brothers by their middle names, but whatever. Calls him Brother Nero, goes on about, that he's going to beat him at Slammiversary and everything like that. Suddenly the door opens in the background. And I was going to say walks. She doesn't quite walk in. She more or less jogs in with a baby strapped to her chest. Rebby Hardy, who is Matt's wife, has a baby strapped to her chest and is running.
Which she had the real baby strapped to her chest earlier in a segment. So
yes. So unstraps baby Maxwell, throws it at Jeff. Jeff grabs it. The camera is right behind him, so you can clearly see. Oh, it's a fake baby. Oh, it's not a real baby at all. It's a fake baby. Matt then hits him with what I assume was a candy jar.
Something we never saw any other time in the segment. It's like all of a sudden he has some glass jar that he can hit.
There are plenty of places to hide things when you're standing inside the middle of a wrestling ring.
Hold on a second. Let me rewind a little bit. Remember, this is an empty warehouse with a ring set up and what appears to be a kitchen table on the side of the ring.
Uh-huh.
While Matt Hardy's chilling around his house in his wrestling gear. Go ahead.
Yeah, in full wrestling regale. And then magically, apparently crazy Matt Hardy is able to conjure glass out of nowhere. He hits Jeff with it, says some other crazy shit, and does a side effect through the kitchen table, which there's a reason.
There's
more of a rock
reason
bottom.
why it was.
Watch it.
It
was more of a rock
It
bottom,
was
that's true.
fucking shitty, is what it was. And I love it. No, you do not forget. Please do not forget to mention that this was in slow motion for no reason whatsoever.
Slow motion, which doesn't make a lot of sense when you
Because you can
actually
fully
stand
see-
back and think about it.
you
Not
can
that a
fully
lot of
see
this makes sense.
Fully see the effort on Matt Hardy's face, going, "Oh!"
Yeah, not that a lot of this makes sense, but if you step back, this does not make a lot of sense because this is supposedly live, and then somehow we managed to hit the button to big slow mo at the correct time. He puts him not through the table because, mind you, this isn't a folding table.
It is
But
a
he
pedestal
simply-
table. It is a round table with a pedestal base.
Yep,
You've got one point of contact.
Right. He lays him gently down on the table, which proceeds to no shock to anyone, tip over and snap apart
onto concrete,
onto concrete.
where Matt Hardy gets up, clearly holding his knee in pain,
Yes.
and
Yes.
there goes Slammiversary.
And cue the credits because that that was your main event. Listen, I
It made me yearn back for the Charlotte Natalia contract signing main event a few weeks ago.
It's like somebody like Big Jim Gaboric or somebody had a fever dream and they somehow managed to film it.
no.
And,
See,
and there
this
were
is-
parts of Impact this week that were actually really good. I thought the Mike Bennett and EC3 stuff was actually really entertaining. And
So-
then they went with this. I don't.
Yeah. So this is the problem that we've had in the past with TNA is that every once in a while the writers just allow one of the Hardy Boys to write their own stuff.
Mm.
And it is inexplicably bad. Willow was batshit crazy, and everyone knew it was Jeff Hardy, except for apparently Jeff Hardy. And now the writers have now allowed Matt Hardy to obviously write his wife into it. And again, anyone out there who was annoyed about the fact that we had a go-home show to a pay-per-view and with Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns playing tug-of-war with a title belt, you know what they didn't do? Throw a fake baby at each other. So
No,
please,
but
do
to be
yourself a
fair,
favor.
Snitsky and Kane had already done that. So
Do yourself a favor. Go to our Facebook page, the Rundown Wrestling Podcast. Watch this and
Make sure you have the sound on so you can
Yes.
hear just how awful Matt's acting is.
yeah, let's do
And-
this. Yeah.
and Rebby's. Don't please do not forget the couple of lines that they allowed Rebby Sky to say on TV. Please do yourself a favor and go watch this so you can realize maybe it's not as bad as I thought it was.
Go
Because as much as WWE has done terrible things like this is usually what they do in the mid card. This isn't what they do for their main event guys.
Well, go. Yeah. and
Other
let's-
than Katie Vick.
Let's do this. Let's everyone who's listening, go watch this on the Facebook page. Then call and leave us a voicemail with your interpretation of this.
Yeah.
We may not even play it. We might not. Depends on what we think about it. But I just want to hear what the people listening to this think, because maybe it's just us. Maybe with the regular fan, this was okay and it liked it, or the Hardys were. I don't know.
And the video quality, the video quality was Brian Pillman's Gun-esque, if you ask me. Just the quality of the camera work was just like, and some of those camera moves, like they're at one point they're circling like Matt Hardy and Jeff Hardy, but they can't seem to keep either one of them in frame.
At least with the Brian Pillman's gun, they gave you the out of being able to hope somebody had gotten shot after that abortion.
Yeah. This is true. And remember, I am a Matt Hardy apologist.
Yes, you
and
are.
I thought this was terrible. Please.
Yeah.
Please.
It's
Please.
I've watched it.
Please stop buying TNA merchandise. Stop watching this show. Stop going to their free shows that they put on. please help me put this company out of business so that we can get the Hardy Boys back in WWE. Please,
no,
for the love of God,
yeah.
do something. Or at
We don't
least
necessarily
so we
want
don't have
that.
to, or at least so we don't have to watch them on TV anymore.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Please, for the
161
love of
rundown
God.
7.
Yeah, 61 rundown 7 is your voicemail.
Please let us know what you think of that Hardy segment
It's
on Impact.
If this is clean and sober Matt Hardy, I want druggy Matt Hardy back.
it's almost indescribable in its terribleness.
Someone get that man a drink.
Like I put it when I posted it, it's almost Bash at the Beach movie bad. It's not quite there, but it's very close.
Mhm.
It's in the same town.
Yeah. So for anyone who thought that the Terminator showing up at WrestleMania was bad, please go watch this. Please. Do
Listen,
it.
listen.
Listen. Listen. This was bad.
So
TNA, you should feel sorry for yourself.
This is how bad
fair.
this is how bad this is. We're saying this is bad for TNA. That's
to
how
be-
bad
yeah.
this is.
I will say this. Here's the thing. Here's the truly sad part. It's not even the worst video they've done this year. Because it's within the same calendar year that James Storm pushed Mickey James onto a train track, and then she showed up on TV the next week. So
Let's put it this way. This is so bad. We didn't talk about the fact that TNA had a Dexter serial killer character on their show. We've spent more time talking about TNA in this episode on this segment than we have in the entire year. Of all the TNA is running out of business jokes that we have, you could compile them together and it wouldn't equal the amount of time that we have spent talking about this abomination of a main event.
Completely true. Completely true. Oh man. So bad.
The joke's bad, okay?
So can we, let's do a little palate cleansing here.
Yes.
Theme song.
Did any of you guys? Did you guys see Cody Rhodes' now infamous list that he posted on Twitter?
Yes, and all the
I have
fucking
seen
parodies that all my wrestling friends are posting. On
Yeah, the parodies thing makes me want to shoot myself in the head. I'm already sick of it. But Cody's list, in fact, was quite interesting. There was one parody of it which was great. I don't know if you saw this, which was Wade Barrett's parody, where he had one name and it was Papa Shango. That was it.
Yes, I did see that.
Nice.
That was the one. That made me laugh.
I actually did enjoy the Cody Rhodes shopping list one. That was funny with the silver and black paint on there and things like that. I laughed a little bit at that, but yeah.
But to quickly, I was going to quickly run down the list just so people who may not have seen it. It's just a bunch of check boxes on which he's got Adam Cole, Dalton Castle, Bola, which, for those of you who don't know, is the Battle of Los Angeles, Pro Wrestling Guerrilla's big event every year. Angle,
Which is happening.
Yep, Chris
Guess
Hero,
what's happening?
The Miracle, Moose. What do we got? Pat Buck is on there. What do we got? The streamers thing. So he wants to be part of the Ring of Honor streamers, Japanese tradition. The Young Bucks apparently wants to do a handicap match. Trevor Lee, Shibata, personal ring announcer. I don't know what that has.
Ricardo Rodriguez. He wants to beat up Ricardo Rodriguez.
I think he's talking about having Eden with him, but either way.
Yeah.
And Roderick Strong are on his list. So if you go by his list, it would seem to lean towards him preferring to go to Ring of Honor.
Mm-hmm.
Since about
Well, I would say
70% of that list is Ring of Honor.
he's probably going to do the big three. He's probably going to do Ring of Honor, PWG, and either Dragon Gate or potentially New Japan. Just considering some of the names he's got in there, because he's got a couple of Bullet Club members who obviously could be at any point in time through any of the different wrestling ones. Maybe even Lucky Pro Wrestling if they're lucky enough. But yeah, so he's got a list. Number one, I would say, if you fight Cody Rhodes and you're not on the list, you got to be like, what the fuck, dude? You couldn't have put me on that list. Number two, the fact that Angle was not only on that list, but is also going to be his first post-wrestling or WWE match is kind of crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Because of course we know that Angle is in his year away from wrestling.
Yeah.
So, but the good thing is that while it seems like maybe Cody left on bad terms, you still got Goldust in the company who can probably try to soften it up a little bit. So maybe we could eventually get Cody back in a couple of years, back after he's done a couple of things on the Indies and kind of built himself up again. Plus, you got the Young Bucks on there, so we could potentially get a Rhodes Scholar versus Young Bucks match, which would be very interesting. So yeah, I mean, I'm curious to see what he's going to do on the Indies. Obviously, he's going to just on namesake alone, on the Rhodes name, he's going to be making some good money on the road. So, good luck to him.
And for those of you who don't know, the match we're referring to is going to take place at Northeast Wrestling Saturday, August 27th. It is in somewhere Wappingers Falls, New York, which I've never heard of, but that's where it's going to be. Northeast Wrestling. I'm sure it's going to end up on the internet, so we can all check it out when it happens. But
That's a soft G, by the way. Wappingers Falls.
Well, shout out to those guys because they're going to host that match. So if you're in the New York area and you're listening to this, you might want to go check it out and even call and report to us on the Rundown Wrestling podcast voicemail.
The hotline, 61 Rundown 7. We should start calling it the hotline.
Sure.
Give a call into the hotline and hear Vince Russo's picks for the next pay-per-view.
And something Mean Gene.
Yep. A good friend of mine called into the hotline last week. Finally, actually heard what the voicemail sounds like, so that was very interesting. I know that Adam.
What?
Yes, I am actually a really good fan, a really good friend of that time traveler that called in.
I like that you don't remember his name.
Well, I changed it a couple of times in my head when I was using it.
It was Chet Cottonmouth, wasn't it?
Cottonwood, yeah.
Cottonwood, that's what it was.
Chet Cottonwood.
Because I took the last name from Eli Cottonwood.
Yeah,
I couldn't remember the
classic.
first name.
Nobody has mustaches.
Yep. So yeah, Chet Cottonwood. Our
No relation to Chet Wingstead.
No. Just see
Well,
that.
people with
that's
the
what
same first names aren't often related, Adam.
Yeah, but that's what got caught. What got stuck. I don't know. We've got 3 guys named Big on our roster, so so yeah, that got caught in my head a little bit there. It was a joke that was also a callback to the fact that Adam is a time traveler from a couple of weeks ago, last time I was on the show, which is when I called you a fellow time traveler.
Oh, right, because I'm way behind on my podcasts. Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Right.
So, see, after I did it and you guys talked about it, I was like, oh, he doesn't remember that joke.
You know what's funny? You know what's funny? You know what's funny? Jokes when you have to explain them.
Yeah. See, I thought that you would remember it because you listened to the show twice, essentially. Once when you're here, and then once when you're also doing your editing, which totally happens.
I don't edit, please.
Adam, let's be honest. We know that you listen to the show a lot. So I mentioned it to you guys in the thread. Did you guys get a chance to check out the Will Ospreay Ricochet match?
I did.
I only saw the video of the ending.
Okay. So we should talk about that. It's one of the biggest things buzzing around the internet wrestling community this week. For those of you who don't know, it was the World Super Juniors tournament over in New Japan. Will Ospreay, one of the hottest young indie talents out of Great Britain, took on Ricochet. For those of you unaware, Prince Puma in Lucha Underground, one of the best high flyers in the United States. They put on a match that was regarded by many as one of the best matches of the year, regarded by some, like Big Van Vader, as overrated gymnastic shows. So it's pretty much a 50-50 split down the middle. It seems like the older guys really kind of hated it and thought it exposed the business, whereas younger fans seem to be really into it, really enjoy it. And I was just curious to hear your guys' thoughts on it.
So it's getting a little late, so I'll try to keep it as short as possible on this. I watched the match, and to me, this type of match obviously is a lot different from the WWE style of match, which is different from the New Japan style of match, which is different from the Lucha style of match. And when you have people sitting there and insulting the match, saying like it exposed the business, it's just a bunch of flips and everything like that, I don't quite understand it, because this match is like, if you think of art forms, you think of like the WWE style as your like modern art, like this is your like cubism, the lucha libre style. That's kind of like, we don't typically slam other styles of art just because we don't like them as much.
Mm.
If you like this style of match, this was a phenomenal match. If you like a more a different approach to it, the WWE style of match, you're probably not going to like it as much. But that doesn't mean that the match was terrible. The match was great. The match, what they did was they showed off what they could do, which was some great athleticism, some great gymnastics. To say that it exposed the business is a little ridiculous, because number one, the business has been exposed for years. Okay, even your filthy casuals understand that this is not real, that everything is scripted and things are choreographed. So I don't quite understand that, but again, look who it's coming from. It's coming from your Jim Cornettes and guys like that, guys that are so stuck in the past that they would rather see, like they think that Hulk Hogan versus Andre the Giant was the greatest match of all time. Okay, that's the kind of wrestling they like. They like the old school style. Me, I watched the match. I thought there was a lot of great moves, but I tend to like a little more psychology to my matches.
Mm-hmm.
So
And there was none in that match.
yeah.
No.
So while I thought the match was really cool, I thought it was a really novel idea. To me, it was missing a lot more of the psychology. If they would have thrown a little bit more psychology into it, it would have been a 5-star match in my book, hands down.
Mm-hmm.
And you
Plus,
see
I think Jim Cornette has hated everything since 1999. So.
yeah. So fuck
No,
that
he's
guy.
actually a big fan of American Alpha, so I
That's because American Alpha does a bunch of suplexes.
In terms of exposing the business, I get your point. I will say this. When I go into a movie, I know that it's not Bruce Willis jumping off the top of the exploding building in Die Hard. I don't need to have him. I don't need them to show me them stopping and bringing in the stunt double, and I felt that that's at certain points in that match that was kind of the equivalent of what they were doing. They were throwing really stiff kicks and no selling them. There was a lot of no selling, and I think that was my biggest issue with that. The acrobatic gymnastic stuff doesn't bother me. I think that's a trend that the business is heading into as you get less and less big guys out there. And the business becomes more young, smaller, athletic, talented guys who do that type of style. That's what Ring of Honor has kind of built their reputation on. TNA made their name on the X Division, the same kind of thing. This is a form of wrestling that the crowd clearly wants to consume. So to not give it to them because of some archaic notion that this is not what wrestling should be is just shooting yourself in the foot. And at times I think that's what Vince McMahon does. This is what the show wrestling should look like, and if it doesn't look like that, then I'm not putting it on TV and I'm not pushing these guys. I think he does that to his detriment. I liked the match. I thought it was really good for what it was, but I wouldn't put it. I would put AJ Styles and Roman Reigns above it. I think there was more storytelling. I think there was. I would put another Spot Fest type of match in that 4-way from Extreme Rules for the Intercontinental title. I thought was better. I thought they told a better story. I thought there was psychology to it. I thought everyone looked desperate to win, which is another thing I don't think you saw in that match with Ospreay and Ricochet. It looked like they were both kind of just okay with whatever happened. If I win, great. If I don't, at least I got my flips in.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and the way you look at this, I don't want to make it sound negative. To me, this match was easy. It wasn't easy to do, but it was easy to figure out. It was easy to choreograph.
Yeah,
Because
it was a performance piece.
Yeah. Whereas when you've got a like Kevin Owens Sami Zayn match, there's a lot more effort put into it because they have to constantly be thinking about the crowd. They've got to be thinking about how we can tell our story. To me,
things like where the cameras are positioned.
yeah, to me that's much more important than just trying to get
Mhm.
like this was the farthest end of the extreme as you can go.
Yeah.
And if you dial it back a couple of notches, you've got your average Ring of Honor match and some WWE matches. And that's so this was just them being like, hey, this is what we can do.
Mhm.
You know, we are incredibly athletic. We're going to do this because it's something new. Now, if this was the way that every match was, I probably wouldn't ever watch Lucha Underground. I probably wouldn't ever watch whatever wrestling promotion just did this, where it was just. And I already have a little bit of an issue with the Lucha Libre style, anyways, because this is what they tend to do often. It's a lot of chain wrestling, Peruzio kind of things where there isn't as much storytelling to it. But you know, like I said, that to me was that was an easy match for the two of them because they're just like they could just write moves and be like, there we go. Now we've got our match. Whereas instead, most matches, the way most really good matches, most 5-star matches are going to be, all right, we're going to do a couple moves. All right, well, now I'm going to start focusing on the leg, and I'm going to do all these different moves to your leg, and you're going to have this big thing where you're going to go for this move, and your leg's going to crumple under you, and the fans are going to be like, oh no, what the fuck happened? That to me is much better. And shows a lot more skill than just, hey, let's do 15,000 flips in a match. But
Here's what it,
like I said,
I'm sorry.
go ahead.
I was going to say, here's what it reminded me of. I don't know how much you guys are into martial arts. I myself have never done it. I don't know if that's obvious or not. But I have friends who have, and it reminded me of when you go to test for your next belt level or whatever, and you go through that, choreographed sequence, the fight against the Invisible Man. And I feel like it was these two guys doing that. There just happened to be another person there. It's like, okay, I flip, you flip, I flip, you flip, you flip, you flip, I flip, I flip, you flip, I flip, I flip, you flip, you flip, pinfall, done. Okay. Congratulations, you're a black belt now.
Yeah. I will say this. I've watched a decent amount of Japanese wrestling through the years. I've never heard the Japanese fans break out into a holy shit chant. That was kind of cool to see. But the crowd there enjoyed it, and at the end of the day, those are the people buying the tickets.
Yeah,
they went home happy with what they saw. Then the match was a success.
Yeah, and I think that when you do look at the audience that you have there, the Japanese people care a lot more about the technical aspect of things, which is why you typically have these Japanese wrestlers that come over that are fantastic technical wrestlers, like your Takas, like your Shinsuke Nakamura's, Hideo Itami, Finn Balor. So it does make sense to have a match that is going to showcase a lot of technical aspects and a lot of really flashiness. I mean,
I think showcase is a good word for it.
And it was a part of a best of the Super Juniors tournament. I mean, it was part of a tournament surrounded with guys who wrestle the same style. So these guys are sitting there like, how do we set ourselves apart from these other high-flying guys? And to their credit, they went out there and put on a match where any number of things could have gone horribly wrong and looked terrible, and they stuck every single spot perfectly.
Sure.
That type of match will work that way once every 5 years, and they nailed everything. It was beautiful.
Yeah, and you know what else it did? It got people talking.
Yep.
We're putting our time in talking about it. All the other podcasts are. You've got a lot of internet people doing it, and you're driving traffic now to their streaming service that they're trying to launch, to their YouTube account that they're trying to get more subscribes to. So they're getting a ton of subscriptions on both their YouTube and on their streaming service, and they're getting people paying attention to their brand, which all we've really had so far is just Bullet Club. And now this is actually like, hey, this is a match. This is what this promotion puts on. Hey, maybe I'm interested in some of these other things that they've got.
And these are two guys that are rumored to have possible WWE futures in the not too distant future, if you will. Ospreay, I think, is going to be in the Cruiserweight Classic, and Ricochet has been rumored once his Lucha Underground contract is up to be signing with NXT. So,
and it makes complete sense because a guy like Prince Puma or Ricochet, whatever Bullet Grays, whatever they decide to call him when he gets to WWE, would be a great addition to the NXT brand. Ospreay would be a really good one too.
Ospreay's been working in TNA a little bit too.
Yeah, well, we don't talk about that. So yeah, I mean, you're getting a lot of attention, and WWE is looking at them even more now because these two guys just destroyed the wrestling internet, community because of the fact that now you've got everyone talking about it. You've got a bunch of likes on their videos and stuff like that, and we know that WWE loves their social media presence. So if they can, shortly after this announce, hey, we signed Will Ospreay, the guy from the fucking Flippy video, it's a slam dunk.
But is it trending on Tout?
I don't know. I don't know that tout is a thing anymore. So.
Yeah.
Anyways, I
Oh,
Sorry,
we got-
completely killed the momentum there.
We
Yeah.
got all the way through my list, so
All right. Well, then I guess we're ready to go on to the theme song. Wow, wow, wow. Wow, wow, wow. That's just the Mrs. theme song, right?
oh, I thought you were doing a train. That's
No. That's what our theme song is, folks. That's the Mrs. theme song.
No
Done in
shit.
8-bit version.
Oh my God, you're breaking new grounds.
I just
How did I
exposed
never
the
know
Mrs.
this?
there goes that fourth wall Troy just kicked down.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. First, Adam breaks it by saying he doesn't do any editing on the show. Now I break it by explaining what our theme song is.
No.
Next, you'll tell
I
me
thought-
what you use.
I didn't think the awesome in the beginning of it gave it away enough.
Wait, by explaining what our what is?
What? I
You
said next you'll be using Audacity.
No,
Surprise.
you explained what our what is?
Something theme song.
There you go. Okay.
There you go.
This has been a very strange episode.
It has.
I don't even know if I have a place to put the theme song in the beginning now, so I'm just
Just
gonna run it quietly under the entire episode.
or just every time we say theme song, have it go for a little bit, and then
Just like 10 seconds of it.
Just
Go-
put the
Yeah,
Adam,
go on Google and type in record scratch and just put that in every time we abruptly stop.
Adam, just put your theme song wherever it'll fit.
Yeah.
My philosophy.
Well, you put the theme song at
The
the end of
theme-
the episode anyway.
The
So
theme song is my penis.
wherever it fits is that window behind you. Theme song.
Just remember, version 1 it.
That does it for the rundown for this Wednesday, June 1st, 2016. 283 days since the New Day won the WWE Tag Team Championships. As we mentioned before, they are now in first place in the list of combined reigns with 330 days over their 2 title reigns. For a free audiobook and a 30-day free trial of Audible, go to audibletrial.com/rundown. Please. Lucky Pro Wrestling presents Uprising at the Elks Lodge in Maynard, Massachusetts on Saturday, June 25th. Atlantic Pro Wrestling returns Sunday, July 31st for a free show during Newburyport Old Yankee Homecoming. And Liberty State's off for the summer. We return in October. Jason has something about uncles fondling orphans.
Yeah, my children's hospital benefit show, Adam. I'm not sure the juxtaposition of that comment works very well for that. Yeah, it is. June.
Stop sending me messages.
What?
Talking to the voices in my head.
Oh.
There's a
okay.
whole lot of Facebook shit going on right now.
Oh, okay.
Bloop, 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 bloop.
Stop it now. Nobody
It is Tewksbury, Massachusetts, the Elks Hall, 777 South Street, Tewksbury, Massachusetts. All the proceeds go to Children's Hospital. Doors open at 7 p.m. and tickets just $15. Visit UFO Wrestling on Facebook for more details.
What's the date on that?
June 17th, I believe.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think you said it the first time.
Come on down to APW's Domestic Violence, headlined this year by Adam Lily Rose, who will
That's
be defending.
around APW. We call him Stumpy.
No, not me. And also, nobody calls me that.
They do now.
Stop trying to make Stumpy a thing. It's not going to happen.
Stump trivia, ladies and gentlemen. What would you call him?
That's right. Every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. at the Port Tavern in Newburyport, 84 State Street. Come on down. We give away some great prizes. We have some fun. I play some music. It's a lot of fun.
So is Stumpy the manager for Adam Rose?
Yeah. See, he said Adam Rose. He was talking
Yeah,
about
Adam
Rose.
Rose.
No.
Because
Our Adam
See-
is something.
and you need to understand something, that the whole point of the joke was I called the event domestic violence. And then I said that Adam Rose was going to be the headliner because he beat his wife. And I threw an Adam Lily Rose
Allegedly.
because Lily Rose is the daughter of Johnny Depp, who is also accused of domestic violence. And maybe we'll have an appearance by Chris Brown.
You know what's fun? Explaining jokes.
That's going to just be my new character from now on.
Listen.
Listen.
Joke
Listen.
Listen.
That's hey. If Big Show can go ahead and walk around and explain storylines on Raw, I can explain jokes on a podcast.
Follow us on Twitter at Rundown Podcast. Send us an email to rundownwrestling@gmail.com or call the hotline 617-863-6967 61 Rundown 7. Like us on Facebook. Tell your parents and your grandparents to like us on Facebook at facebook.com/rundownwrestling. To make a donation of the monetary variety, go to rundown.podomatic.com. As I just noticed the comment that Troy just made on the Facebook chat. As this show is not free for me. It's free for you, not free for me. $10 a month. If you donate $10, you pay for the show for a month on Podomatics.
I'm sad about stuff.
Hashtag
I gotta pay money for my podcast.
Hashtag Dick Soup. Watch archived episodes at youtube.com/rundown podcast and circle me on Google Plus at google.com/plus Adam Rundown Host. There's some poetry bullshit at tinyurl.com/distant horizons, and you can check out our sister podcasts at shadowvane.net. Support them at patreon.com/shadowvane.
You probably should. They don't need any more. They don't need any more help. You don't have to go. Don't like them. Don't subscribe. They've got enough. They've got enough people now.
Tuning
They make
Japanese.
They make the rest of us look bad. So you can just forget about Shadowvane.
Tuning Japanese on iTunes and Stitcher, maybe, if Andy gets his shit together. The Raw Attitude podcast hosted by our good friend Henry Hugebex, the Suplex Throwing Human Duplex on iTunes and Stitcher, and something called the Geek and Gamer Guild.
Yes, very good. We'll get there.
What's that about?
That is going to join our tentatively named Dick Soup Network. It's going to be a podcast about gaming and geek culture, probably mostly about gaming. I am working on getting the first episode up sometime this week. I was going to record tonight, but instead decided to do this.
Thank you.
And we
First
wouldn't shut the fuck up.
That's right. First episode will most likely be about the 1990 classic Final Fantasy VIII. And I intend to try to do a show every 2 weeks, maybe every week, as long as I can keep drop kicking my kid to sleep. And so go ahead and subscribe right now. I've got an episode 0 up, so as a placeholder, which is just a theme song. And so go ahead and subscribe, Geek and Gamer Guild. You can also find us on Facebook, Geek and Gamer Guild. I think it's radio. I put it on there. Or our Geek and Gamer Guild podcast. But check it out. And sooner or later, my lazy ass will get up and actually make some episodes.
I just found this cool new game. It's called Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. And it's pretty fucking awesome.
I will totally do an episode about Mike Tyson's Punch-Out.
I found one of those emulators on the computer.
Jason, when are you going to start a podcast,
There
huh?
goes the rest of my day.
When are you going to start a podcast, huh? Huh?
What did we figure out your podcast is going to be about?
Huh?
Sucking dicks? What was it?
Dick Soup.
Dick Soup.
Sir.
With croutons.
Croutons.
See,
Dicks and croutons.
Yep. See, Dick Soup, it's all-encompassing because this whole podcast started as a joke about doing a soupcast. So,
Well,
this
this podcast did not start as a joke about a soupcast. That came much
I
later.
know my rundown history.
We're getting dangerously close to infringing upon the Wrestling Soup podcast that is out there. So
That is true.
Search for us on iTunes under the Rundown Wrestling Podcast. If you subscribe, you get the podcast delivered to you absolutely free each and every week. $0, 0 cents free. If you cannot afford a monetary donation, leave us a 5-star review because that helps other people find us. If you leave us a text review, we'll read your name and your text review at the end of a future episode.
now, just for the sake of argument, just so people know, just so people know, if you leave that 5-star review, you can promote whatever of your shit you want to put, and we'll still read it on the air.
That's right.
We'll take the 5 stars. We will whore ourselves out for 5-star reviews. We're not above that.
We're also available on Stitcher, Stitcher.com, or the Stitcher app on your iOS or Android device. Also free. Thanks to Tegan Brown for the logo. Thanks to everyone for listening. Thanks to nobody on the side this evening.
Fuck you.
Thank you, Jason.
Theme song!
Thank you, Troy.
Thank you.
And thanks to iFight Dragons at ifightdragons.com.
For providing the
Theme song. Next week, I don't know, but I hope it's not going to be 2 hours again.
next week, more theme song.
I think Andy might be coming back next week. So we'll see what happens. And as always, Jacob, good night and good luck.
Next
Breathe.
week, NXT Takeover review next week. There we go.
Breathe.
Before you do it, their name is not Breeze on. Their name is Febreze.
Breeze on. Go fuck yourself.
They couldn't get the Pabst Blue Ribbon to sign off. They're going to get Febreze to sign off on it.
Take care, Bulby faces.
Holy balls, that was 2 hours.
Yes, it was.
Theme song?
All right.
That should definitely be the title of the episode.
Probably not. It's the post show, and we know what that means.
Shirts are off. Pants are
After
down.
the show, it's the after party, and after the party, it's the hotel lobby. And
That means that it's time to read the Google Voice transcript. Here's the first one. I will be the first to admit that back in the beginning of January, rumors have flooded the internet that the WWE raided New Japan Flocka. In stolen, Shinsuke, Nakamura, Carl Anderson, Luke Gallows, AJ Styles, that I couldn't wait for them to get to the WWE because I knew they were going to do big things. Now this shit ski Nakamura credit.
Whoa.
wait, it got Carl Anderson and Luke. They're blowing up our gimmick here. What the fuck?
He has done big things in NXT, and I look forward to his manager, Austin Area, that takeover. Hey, Chase Impact in the Royal Rumble was significant, but his fuse with Jericho and Roman, world lackluster, especially Jericho WrestleMania. That should have been ages counting women and really. Self-white mostly because we had seen the match 4 times already. I'll give you a heads, you had a lot of good matches because that's what IG. Is against Roman Reigns. And I thought they put on so especially your good match Extreme Rules. But I wanted something more from AJ Styles, and what happened last night was perfect. With AJ simulating that he was about to go total with the Polo Club, and
Yes.
Total with the Polo Club.
Total with the Polo Club, and Van to turn around and punch John Cena in the face, and then have all 3 of them attack John Cena was fucking brilliant. Especially have AJ continue to run back in the rain. Can you two be done, Cena, now? I'm not forgetting history. I know what creative is done when Cena has been a fuse at the Y at the Nexus, and even as the recent that's loose after 1 year ago.
Ooh. What are we talking about now?
The Sunny porno.
It took a proof of to get back after his feud with Cena to where Heat prominently should be. However, I am optimistic because last night's heel turn by AJ Styles was phenomenal as far as the rest of Rocco's. They should never ever have anything hashtag patch printing again. And where is Bray Wyatt? I'm sure you was going to be at the main event and he did not? I guess we'll have to keep waiting. Talk to you guys next week.
Nice.
This one just starts off amazingly. My name is Paul Me Malta Sandy, and I am Paula Fight Key and a certified studies. Google can't read that.
Did it actually say that?
Mm-hmm. And this way here. This is Big Vinny, and he's 400 pound. And you can teach that, you do. And I will tell you right now.
Apparently
That's
you can
big
do that.
cash in hand, so well hilarious last night on Raw. Did I think they're going to start naming of cheeses? No, that I think it was a little cheesy. How you doing? But I'll tell you that. They got the Dudley Boys job and out now left and right now. I'm a fan of a big cash. It ends up. But God, you could big just shoot interesting if you had the delis be a little vicious. I mean, come on, say the fucking drugged out like they were the social, okay? Speaking of job and out, I will say I did enjoy Golf Taylor.
Golf Taylor's good.
Go through his whole stack, and he was an amateur wrestler. His career can't state he put the headgear, already put the mouthpiece in, and then he kicked Barrett, cool the writing or not. That was funny, except for the fact that I don't really want to see this fuel continue, but if they got nothing else for them to, might as well let it continue naked, have a kick in the nuts match next week, and to see who the Golden Ox best 305. As far as a bowl cruise in the Big Show, man, I don't know why Big Show's going to be the talk on that segment, that survey, just how much Apollo can't cut a promo. Charlotte, I like what you did last week as far as putting your father out the past I don't care much for your so she Asian with Dana Brooke, however. I did know for a fact that Becky Lynch was going to come out for this year, so now we can have a tech manager Becky in the Dahlia in Charlotte player and Dana Brooks. Okay, I don't know. I'm just waiting to Sasha to get back, and as far as the New Day goes, well, let's see if WWE does keep them together after the branch split. How you doing?
So I got the delis out of that. So that's the new one for next week. The Deli Boys.
Oh, Google. Oh, the Googs. My name is Paul, me, Malta, Sandy. And I am Paula Fight Key and a certified studies Google can't read that.
I love that. I do like the certified Asian though. And this here's Gail Kim, and she's a certified Asian.
I'm so glad we're finally going to get the Maria versus Gail Kim match nobody's been looking forward to forever.
Oh, God. Hey, you know what? They both have great tits.
Maria's ass is money. Ugh.
Oh, it just came a little bit right in my pants.
She actually did a show for Beyond. I think it was a Beyond show.
Yeah.
And she lap danced another chick that I've done a couple
Nice.
shows with.
Nice.
There's video on the internet.
I was very, very happy to see her show up topless in a terrible movie. You just fast forward right to that part.
I think you've mentioned it a few times.
And Gail Kim, I'm not a big fan of the fake tits, but it's always nice to have them out there too.
I have no problem with fake tits.
Okay. Well, then you'll definitely have Eden Styles pictures that we get released.
Oh, I've seen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Corday is a lucky man.
Yes, he is. Actually, it's funny. I never thought she was that hot, and then she was ring announcing a live show I went to, and she was fucking stunning in person.
Yeah.
Like, okay, yeah.
She can't fucking talk, so not that she needs to. Heyo.
Her mouth should be full anyway.
Corday dick. On that note, do you think that that he ever fucked her as Stardust? You think after he came, he
Oh,
threw?
absolutely, yeah.
You think after he came, he threw glitter in her face?
I just figured he came glitter.
That could be too.
Like one of those confetti guns at the fucking Macy's Day Parade.
Goodbye.
I assume